Folks at home, how you doing tonight? Welcome to Ike Live. This is show 3069. Am I right? Am I anywhere near being right on that number, Bri?
Correct.
Thanks for joining us. This show gets bigger and better every week. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We are the best web show in the world, bar none. There's no other web show better than ours. I want to introduce everybody to the room right off the giddy here, and sitting to my right, as usual, my handsome, pretty, beautiful co-host, and you might know him as the man of mystery. He knows everything. Pete Glusick. Pete!
How are you, man?
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
You look good again tonight.
Well, you know, this is the Ike Live show.
I know. You're starting to make me feel bad, though, because I'm like, I've been wearing this for like 3 or 4 days. I haven't showered. And you come in, you look very like a male model all the time.
You know, it's not like we're Bassmasters Live. You can wear anything there.
Okay.
You know.
Gotcha.
This is Ike Live.
Gotcha. Well, it's good to see you. We got a lot of stories that we're going to tell. We got to spend a lot of time together last week. I want to get into some of that. Not intimately or anything, but together. So I want to talk about that. We've got a very, and I want to say we're privileged to have a very, very special guest tonight on the casting couch. I don't want to make you nervous. I don't want to get you excited.
I don't get nervous, man.
But I'm super stoked to have a very good friend, high school friend, acquaintance, and first time I've seen this guy in a long time. So happy to have him in the studio. Mike Richardson with us tonight on the casting couch.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm very honored, man. I'm pumped.
I'm so stoked to have you
man, it's
on the
great
set
to see
tonight.
you, man. It's great
so,
to see you.
Everybody's got these on this show. Everybody's got these AKA, these surnames. And so we've got one for you, but we need a couple.
You mean Nom?
Yeah, so we're gonna let everybody know, the folks at home know. We're gonna give you two. We're gonna give you AKA Nom.
Okay.
And we're gonna give you AKA Predator Hunter tonight.
That's fantastic.
Okay,
yeah, that's
so
how I'm
be
known in circles. So
that's right.
Circles,
okay, we're glad to have you.
Awesome.
Joining us in a little bit too. He's late as usual. Dave Brodzik, our resident a-hole, AKA Worf, AKA Fathead, will be joining us. We don't know what he's doing. He still doesn't have a cell phone yet. He had a flip phone, one of those old ones, and he got rid of it. So through Morse code, we found out he's going to be a little bit late.
I understand.
So he'll be here. And, of course, back in the booth, the folks back there that make it run, and especially tonight. Pete, you weren't aware of this, but we had a lot of technical difficulties early based around the storm that hit us, the bad storm, and we had some issues.
Still giving us trouble.
Well, it was a result from the power outage and a few of the things that happened there, and we had a lot of technical difficulties that were solved by our very own Brian the Carpenter, the producer of the show.
With a lot of help.
I got to say, Mike did help, and
well done.
And
Mark Jeffries, Bassone. Thank you, Mark, for helping out. It's always a freaking, we're a nervous wrecking here till 5 minutes before the show, all the time.
Well, that makes it so interesting. I think everybody's on edge.
It does. Everybody's on edge.
It makes it smell in here too.
I know it's BO.
Deodorant failure.
You're always wet back there, Brian. I see a lot of moisture in your armpits and your chest. All right. And sitting to Brian's left is my beautiful wife, Rebecca. Hi, Beck.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing tonight?
I'm excellent.
Okay, real quick, stand up.
I didn't want to...
No, just stand up a little bit. Stand up real quick. Let's see.
A gypsy look.
That's okay. I like it. Is that two piece or is that one? What is that? Is that two pieces?
It's like 3 or 4.
It's 3 or 4. Okay. And the designer tonight, Beck? Who's the designer?
Who knows? I put it together myself.
Okay, so we don't have a designer
I
tonight.
think this is like 1999 skirt from Nordstrom and some Target stuff, and this is not fancy.
So you're not going to identify the designer like you did last week?
No, because I was actually a designer. This is not designer.
Okay.
I'm versatile.
You're versatile. You put that together yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that scare you?
Nah, that's amazing.
Brian's scared.
No, I'm not
Should be scared.
He's sweating.
He is sweating. Everybody's sweating. Let me tell you, we've got a super dynamic show. I know I always say that, but this one is really super dynamic. We've got a lot of things on the plate tonight. We're going to be talking to a Jersey boy, Vineland's own Jersey boy, a.k.a. Adrien Avena, coming off a amazing tournament of Potomac. And
on fire.
Yeah, on fire, and coming off a wonderful year, AOY year in FLW. We're going to have him on the phone tonight. It's going to be awesome. We're also going to be joined by, and this is exciting because we love when people outside the industry join us. We got 2 of them tonight. We're going to be joined by Bryan Bickell of the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. 3-time Stanley Cup champion.
Wow.
That's crazy,
amazing.
isn't it?
It's amazing. It'd be great to have him back on the show.
Oh, man.
See how he's doing?
Yeah, I can't wait to get him on the phone. I think he's more happy that the season's over and he can go fishing than he is about having another Stanley Cup. We're going to talk to him about that. And at the very end of the show, this could probably be the best part. It's like a build-up. We're going to be talking to Mike about what he's been doing. It's very interesting stuff. I don't want to give any of it away, but it's very interesting. I can't wait to talk to Mike about what he's been doing. A super great show. As we always do, let's start the show. And a big thank you to our military, active and veterans, men and women. Thank you guys for what you do. It's a crazy world. We appreciate it. Also, special shout out to firemen, police, EMT. Thank you guys. We appreciate what you do. It's amazing. I could never do it, so thank you very much. Where are we going to start, Brian? We got so many things here. Give me a starting point. You want to get into? Want to say? Want to get into? Let me. Never mind.
I want to interrupt 1 second.
You do? Okay.
We always get some really cool shout outs at the beginning. People, Indianapolis. We usually get Ohio folks. All that. We got a good morning from Australia.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just now?
Yeah.
A good morning from Australia.
How awesome is that?
What time is it there in Australia right now?
I guess it's the opposite of us, right?
The opposite? Because they're on the opposite side of the world?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Right.
All right.
What
Well,
it's
Ask him.
what time is it, Colin?
okay, Colin, we'd like to know what
He
time.
says 10:08 a.m.
10:08 a.m. Wow. Okay, Colin,
awesome.
thanks for watching. We love our Australian fans.
Absolutely.
Great to know that you're watching. Any more shout-outs? Anything from
We got a New
Camden,
Hampshire. No Camden.
Okay.
I did have an Indianapolis.
Indianapolis? Indy?
I don't
So
get
Okay.
Camden sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. All right. Okay. And while you're talking about the shout-outs, let me take this time to remind you, and I always like to do this, that this is your show and we want to hear the fans' feedback. We want to hear everybody what they're thinking. A lot of ways to get a hold of us here. In the early portion of the show here, hit us up on the IM instant messaging. It's right there next to your screen. You could also hit us up on Facebook and Twitter at the Ike Live Show or Mike_Iaconelli. And finally, a little later in the show, we're going to have a toll-free number up on the screen. Please call us. We want to hear from you, good and bad. If you want to crank call us, you can do that. If you want to call and curse and breathe heavy, do that as well. Anything you want to do, we want to hear from you. So a lot of ways to get in touch with us. We want to hear from you. Let me remind you that this is exciting. Let me remind you that we are on iTunes. We've been there for a few months now. We've got a heavy presence on iTunes and Stitcher. Check us out there. If you missed some of the shows, download us. Listen to us on the way to work. Listen to us while you're on the hopper. Listen to us while you're working out, while you're mowing the lawn with your X-Mark mower, whatever you want to do. And while you're there, give us a review, too. A positive review would help us. We had a negative review, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And who takes the blame for that negative review we had on iTunes?
I will.
You will. Okay. I think it was your fault, Bri.
It was.
It was. Okay. Is there any way to get rid of that negative review on iTunes, or it's there permanently?
It's probably there.
Okay. It's like a scar. It doesn't go away.
What was it?
I hung up on a caller because he didn't pay attention. that and we're not allowed to dictate to our viewers what questions to ask. Apparently,
Right.
we're not allowed to do that.
Oh, okay.
But listen, to all the viewers,
Yes. To all the viewers.
I want you to know that.
Well, we got to see you while you're talking here, Beck.
Oh, sorry.
My bad.
We love all of your questions, but Brian will sometimes get calls with the same question that has happened in every single show.
Right.
So it's not that he's trying to be mean, but we can't answer the same exact question every
Right.
show.
Yep.
So sometimes we do have to filter so that different
Right.
topics are had.
Yeah.
Don't take offense to
No,
Brian.
yeah, nobody
and
take
his
offense.
shortness.
If Brian the Carpenter hangs up on you, don't take offense to it. Listen, he works all day. He's building tables and shit. He comes home. His wife, Helen, harasses him. She cooks him like chicken nuggets every night.
Hi,
Don't
Heather.
give this guy a hard time. If he hangs up on you, he hangs up on you, okay?
Don't ask the same question.
Right. Don't
It
ask.
doesn't just suck for us; it sucks for everybody listening.
It
They hear
does.
the same question.
You know what I think's going to happen now? Everybody's going to call in with the same question.
Probably.
I hope so.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
That would serve us right.
It's going to happen. Let me catch everybody up, and we had and I witnessed this. So I'm going to let Pete go ahead here, and we're going to get an update on Pete's weigh-in. We've been weighing Pete in here since the very beginning of the shows here at 15. And Pete, what's the news on the front with the weight?
All twos.
All twos. So we're talking 2-2-2-2.
222.
A triple two.
Triple two.
So according to my calculations, 4.5 pounds lighter.
4.5 pounds later.
Wow.
222. Yeah, but started where, Mike?
Man, it started. Hey, let's put this in perspective. It started way back in January with 251, and now we're at 222.
Wow.
That's a hell of a
Dang.
weight loss, Pete.
Yeah, I'm tickled to death with it. I'm working hard at it. It's been a big commitment, getting it done more steadily now, and I'm on my way to 200 pounds, which is my goal.
Yeah.
And I hope to reach it there soon. But it's amazing because I run into people on the water that are losing weight with me. We had Joe on Twitter was motivated to lose 20 pounds. He hit a 20-pound mark. Motivated by watching us on Ike Live, watching some of that weight loss, and he's not alone. And it's a big thing, man. It's about health and longevity, and I'm glad you guys are joining me. And I'm committed to the 50 pounds loss, and I'm committed to sponsored myself that I'm going to donate one rod for every pound that I lose to the Ike Foundation.
That's awesome. And that's
Yeah.
going to go to such good use. Thank you for doing that. And I tell you, I just had, as you were talking, I had like a brain flash of a business idea. You should have a workout video after this is done. No, think about this. It's worked in other realms. Tybo. What are the straps?
Pete's the next Billy Blanks.
Billy Blanks. You're the white Billy Blanks. The straps. What were the straps? The
TRX.
TRX.
Tony Horton.
The lesbian girl. I mean, I mean, think about it. I think this is a niche for you. Because this is I'm looking at these numbers. This is really good. So we might talk to Jeff about this. It might be a side project.
Well, we'll do it. We'll launch our Bash U TV.
Okay.
You know, 65% of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by this time.
I believe
every
it.
year. Exactly.
I believe it.
It's hard. It's tough. It's tough to stay
I believe
committed.
it.
I gave up on mine.
The next day? Was it the next day?
Yeah, right.
New Year's Day. You gave up on it.
Hey, before we go on though, Pete brought up the Ike Foundation.
Yes.
His donation. Why don't you tell everybody what we did this last week?
Yeah. Let everybody know Ike Foundation's doing great, and thank everyone for their support. We continue to get donations into the mail, and thank you so much. We're getting rods, we're getting reels, we're even getting some tackle. It helps tremendously. Big couple things on Ike Foundation. One is we're in Central Park, spreading the word a few weeks ago. A lot of people showed up there that had never fished before, and it was very exciting to get some people excited about the sport, especially kids. But more recently, on Saturday, we were at Cabela's in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and we made a donation, 10 Abu Garcia rods and reels, to repeat the name of the organization, Todd Pride's organization, which is Mid-Atlantic Youth Anglers, received 10 Abu Garcia rods and reels. And man, that's what it's all about. And that was one of the first events where we actually gave it to the kids. They were there, and we were able to present it to them. And it's so cool. It's so cool to see that, and to see these kids have a new rod and reel, and that's going to go to programs that they run, and hopefully get more kids involved in the sport. And that's what it's all about. So super exciting. But if you want to know more about it, go to the website. Go to MikeIaconelli.com/Ike Foundation. If you want to help out, two ways. We'd love to have product if you have old product laying around. And also there's a pledge form on there. Sign that pledge form. All it says is you're going to take somebody fishing that's never been fishing before. do that, and you're a part of the Ike Foundation. That's pretty exciting. Easy way to get involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Greatest pledge in fishing.
Easy pledge, real easy to do. Want to give a special shout out to Under Armour. Man, the apparel in Under Armour is crazy amazing. I got to tell you, I've seen the two extremes this year so far. Bassmaster Classic this year, you remember going back to Hartwell. We're talking negative temperatures in practice. We're talking about a high of like 10 or 15 degrees on the first day. Under Armour performed flawlessly in the cold. And last week, you and I, and we're going to get more into it, on the upper Chesapeake Bay, saw the other extreme. Brutal heat. Sweltering. 90 degree, 100 degree heat, humidity, and Under Armour's performing great. So,
That's awesome.
Special shout out to Under Armour, their apparel. It's amazing.
Hey, Ike,
Yes.
real quick, just a little tidbit. When I worked at AOL for a number of years in Baltimore, and the building above us was Under Armour.
Yeah.
They had like 12 people.
Yeah.
Now they own the entire thing.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, and everybody thought it was ridiculous. That just goes to show you have an idea.
You can
Wrong
do
with
it.
it. You don't listen
Isn't that
to
an
anyone,
amazing
right?
story,
Yeah.
though?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because we were down there. We actually visited with them like back in the, was it the fall or the winter? It was back in
winter.
it was back in the winter.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's
like they
Incredible story.
It's a credible story.
Yeah. People don't realize you live in America. You got an idea. You do anything you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to be, rich, happy, whatever. You just do it.
I'll tell you, the one thing that hit us that's interesting about that campus is we got to that campus and we pulled in, and as we walked around and toured these different buildings, we saw the Under Armour employees who were all happy and smiling.
It's awesome.
And wearing Under Armour.
Yep.
Like that was. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was
That was an amazing thing
Yep.
because we've been to campuses before and big complexes, and you see a lot of people like they look pissed off
Grumpy.
They're grumpy. You could tell they don't want to be there.
Yep.
There's you could feel the staleness in the atmosphere. Dude, at Under Armour, you felt like you're at fucking Willy Wonka. You know what I mean? It was like you felt like you were at the Willy Wonka factory.
I wanted to work there. I
I wanted
Really?
to work there too.
a part-time job just so I could work out in their gyms. They
Absolutely.
were amazing.
I just wanted to work there so I could go to the cafeteria every day for lunch.
That's
It's
awesome.
an
That
amazing
kind of attitude breathes through into the products. I mean,
does.
Yeah.
It breathes through into everything.
It does.
They make the
Yep.
best hot weather gear.
They do.
And the best weight loss gear, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all. Our company was just like theirs, man. Used to get there 5 a.m, work till midnight, and people just pumped up, excited.
Yeah.
I miss it, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's very
And that's-
rare.
People talk about getting rich. That has nothing to do with it, man. Working with people that are excited, they want to be there. There's
Yep.
nothing better.
Yeah,
man.
very, very rare. But when you
Well
find it,
said.
it's magic.
Yep.
It's magic. Also, want to remind everybody, we're getting down to the wire here on a promotion, on a special promotion, and it's the Xmark promotion, the Take Back Your Weekends sweepstakes. We've been telling you about it for months and months and months. Want to remind you, hey man, if you haven't signed up, if you haven't submitted a video yet, you got like a couple days here, right? How many days? When's the 30th? 2 days? 3 days? What are we talking about?
2 days.
2 days.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You got today, tomorrow. I don't have a sense of awareness of time. Xmark sweepstakes. Take back your weekend. Go to the Xmark website, xmark.com. /weekends. All you have to do is submit a video and say how you're going to take back your weekends. They're giving away a lawnmower, by the way, the best lawnmowers in the world. And first prize, that was the grand prize. First prize is a trip with me. You're going to get to fish with me. We're going to go out into Delaware. We're going to catch a few bass. We're going to go get a cheesesteak over at Tony Luke's. We're going to come back on the water. We're going to flip some Coney Island whitefish mats. We're going to have a great day. We're going to be, during the break, we're going to have Brian the Carpenter play some of the submissions to give you an idea what you need to send. But listen to me. This is the end. Submit today, submit tomorrow. It's your last chance. You don't want to miss a lot of great prizes. And finally, before we get on to Adrian here, I want to announce, and this is exciting. I don't even know if Pete knows this yet. I want to announce our second official Ike Live sponsor. This is a big moment. Brian, can I get a sound effect? Something? Anything? Anything?
He's working on it.
No.
No sound effect. You can't get a sound effect.
Seriously, everyone just wants to win the Xmark mower. That thing makes me very happy. I don't. What was that?
Thank you for that. The Xmark mower is nice, though.
I go out and mow every day
It's-
just for fun.
you do.
just a
You were
couple
out there
lines.
today doing it.
It's so fun.
It's amazing. But But I'd like to officially announce, and we're so happy to be working with these guys. Amazing product. I'd like to announce the second official Ike Live sponsor, and it is Liquid Mayhem. Awesome. Glad to have you guys on board. A lot of the listeners and watchers Ike Live out there already know Liquid Mayhem. For those of you that don't, it's a scent. It's a scent product applied to your lures. Really unique. When you talk about scent and think about it, you think of generic terms, but what they've got is really, really different and unique. Check them out on the website, liquidmayhem.com. Amazing product. You're going to be hearing a lot more about it during the shows coming up, and you're going to be seeing it in action. We're actually going to do a lot of content video and show you the product in use and show you how it works. But, I'll tell you, we've talked about scent all the time. I can tell you in situations where fish are inspecting a lure, you're fishing a slower bait, a worm or a jig or tube, and they're going up and looking at it, scent matters. Absolutely no doubt in my mind.
Well, I tell you, I happen to have used Liquid Mayhem I met them. I met a great bunch of guys. They've got an innovative product, and I think you guys are going to like it. But I was able to get a few samples at the Classic this year and put them to use. In particular, my favorite was I kind of went against the grain, and I used their walleye attractant, which comes in a red base.
Ooh.
And during the spawn, I was using it on my flipping my creature baits down on the Chesapeake, and I was finding it, to be incredibly effective at getting those spawning fish. Just that that red flash.
Red's key.
That scent.
Red's key.
It was getting those fish that you were blind fishing for them on the beds there. You can't see. The water's got a little bit too much stain. But that red flash and that scent on the Liquid Mayhem, I really believe helped me catch a lot more fish during the spawn.
It's awesome. Awesome story. So you're going to be hearing a lot more. Liquid Mayhem. Thank you, guys. Excited to have you on board. Brian, I think we're ready. You want to ring up Adrian? I'd love to talk to Jersey Boy here. Can we get him on the phone right away?
Jersey Boy is
that
red
possible?
hot.
He's hot. He's fishing great.
I know it. He's made the FLW championship at least a couple times.
He's having
now.
a great year. This is actually his junior year. I don't know if you realize that. His sophomore year was last year, and he had a bit of an off year.
Okay.
But his junior year came back and is setting the world on fire. Like a renewed attitude, smoking them everywhere, just like he did his freshman year. Repeat of that. Yeah, he's no fluke.
It's hard to duplicate, and it's amazing to see him do it. Another Jersey boy doing well.
Hey, we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. There's not many of us. There's a few.
There's just a few.
We love it. We love it. Can we get him on the phone, Brian? We good?
I would like to give a shout out to the folks at Liquid Mayhem and say thank you for joining the Bass University TV or Bass University team this year. We're glad to have them there. We're going to be teaching guys how to use scents this year and doing some really great stuff with Liquid Mayhem through that program.
It's exciting.
As well.
It's exciting. While we're waiting for Brian the Carpenter, a.k.a. Ding Dong, to get Jersey Boy on the phone, let me give a special shout-out to Steve Donis. Steve's a great friend of the show. Probably one of the best illustrators, cartoonists I've known. And if you remember from watching last show, his daughter Maya was undergoing surgery, and she underwent a second surgery recently on her brain, and she's got a third scheduled for early July. Man, we're thinking about you, Maya. We're thinking about you, Steve. Maya, I want to say never give up. Keep your spirits up. We're thinking about you. You're in our thoughts and prayers. And a shout out to those two guys. Thank you for watching. Brian, what do we got? We got Jersey Boy here?
I believe so.
Okay. Joining us live via phone, we're going to find out where he's at right now, is Jersey Boy's very own Jersey Boy, Adrien Avena. Adrian.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing tonight? Turn him up, Brian. I can barely hear him.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm sitting here in my driveway. I just got home a couple hours ago. I took about a 2-hour nap, and I'm just starting to unload all my gear from this past week.
Gotcha. Can you turn him up, Brian, or no?
Captain, I'm giving her all she's got. Let me give me a minute here. Something's not right.
Okay, Adrian, we're gonna call you right back. We got a bad connection. Brian can build a table, but he can't make a connection and call here. So we're gonna get right back
Thank
to
you
you
again, Michael.
You know what I'm interested to hear about is the Potomac went through that massive storm in the middle of the tournament.
Yeah.
All that torrential rain.
Yep.
Had to spin them out, man. Like
Yeah.
all the patterns you were working on had to be gone.
It was a horrendous storm. You got dirty water. You got probably high and lower than normal tides. A lot of elements. I can't wait to hear about that. I can't wait how to hear how he adapted to that. But in general, Potomac's fishing shitty.
Yeah, it's
What's the deal? What's your opinion on why that is?
You know, it's we really haven't seen this from the Potomac, but the last few years has been a little bit of a struggle. You hear guys talking about stuff like the snakeheads impact, or I've heard a few other theories on it. I don't know. It just seems like places go through cycles. And
Right.
Just really have never seen it on the Potomac. It's always been good.
It's
for year
always
after
been
year.
good because it had a down cycle early. Like I remember we federation tournaments. It was tough, but then it came back and it was there. So a lot of theories. We got snakeheads, we got the grass, we have saltwater intrusion, we have all these theories. But I want to run a theory past you on why the Potomac River bass fishery's fishing so crappy lately. Mike, is there any possible way that the presidency and President Obama has anything to do with the bad fishing on the Potomac River? Absolutely, right?
I don't think it's Obama per se, but all the negativity in this country right now. I think maybe the fish don't like that. Everything. What people don't realize is everything is connected, man.
It's a trickle-down effect.
It's bad karma.
From bacteria to everything is connected. When you're negative, I mean, you can almost see it, man. You can almost feel it out there. And I think people blaming him for stuff. I mean, seriously. And I don't talk politics. I don't, when you mention Obama, I kind of got a nervous feeling. But, I don't really go one way or the other. When I was younger, obviously people who knew me, I went to military school, very conservative, do this, do that. Everything had to be structured. I believed in all this stuff. And you get older, man, and a lot of your views change. You see stuff that changes you. And we don't understand what's going on, man.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff. I could talk about stuff for days of what's really going on and the privacy stuff and us being followed and the real problem.
Yeah. Yep.
So that would be my knowing nothing about fishing or saltwater or physics of that. I would
it's
say
a negativity. It's oozing into the
Yes.
water.
Oozing out of D.C.
I agree. It's like, you remember the horror movie? It's a classic, by the way. I'm a big horror buff. Creepshow, the original movie Creepshow horror flick.
Seen it, but, yeah.
Dude, it's like a big. You remember the scene, Bri? The big black blob in the water, and it was like. You remember that?
That's based on a Stephen King novel.
It is. I think you're right.
Yeah, when they suck people down in the water.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And it was the worst special effects because it was literally a black hefty trash bag. Floating on the water
right.
and just suck people
awesome.
in. But that's what it's like. Yeah. It's like that negativity ooze shit is going into the river. That's affecting the bass population.
You may be right. Bad karma's affecting bass.
Think about it.
That's probably the best theory.
Yep.
I like that theory better than anything we mentioned.
It's all about quantum physics, man.
It's quantum physics. Joining us again.
Let's try this again.
Join us again from his driveway after a cat nap. Adrian Avena, Jersey boy. Adrian.
What's going on? I don't know if this is better or what, but you guys let me know.
How you doing? All right, we've got a turbo connection, but we're gonna try to make this happen as good as we can. I need you to just yell in your phone. I know it's a little awkward, but pretend you're like Jerry Springer yelling at somebody as you answer these questions. First of all, I want to say, and Pete too, we all want to say, congratulations on a great finish last week. But even more than that, the bigger picture of an amazing season. Good job, dude. You're freaking on fire again. What's happened? What has gotten into you this year? It seems like you're catching them everywhere you go.
Man, I really don't know. I mean, I think a lot of us anglers, a lot of people that fish, we understand how once you get on a roll, I mean, it's all about just getting confidence, And I mean, the sport's all about confidence. It's all about decision making, and I feel like just from having a really bad year last year and not making the cup and just really being motivated. I mean, from the start, right out of the gates, I started with a good tournament down there in Florida, and us northern guys, if we get out of Florida alive, I mean, it's smooth sailing, So I mean, it was just it's just been really good from the start, I mean, I think I keep on relating my bass and saltwater fishing to bass fishing, but man, I mean, I can just tell you, just being able to understand how how the grass work and how fish position, and especially tidal river fishing. I mean, it's just all one help, with the background that I had.
That's awesome. Well, it's been fun to watch. I've I don't fish over there, but every time we're in one of our breaks, I'm always glued to FLW and I'm watching. As terrible as FLW.com website is, I try to watch and keep up with you guys daily. But let's jump into Potomac a little bit, Adrian. Pete and I were sitting here saying, what an amazingly difficult event from the standpoint of weather and tides and rain and wind. And tell us a little bit about the Potomac. Tell us how you caught them, and tell us how you adjusted to the storms that kept barreling in every day.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me, I mean, I have a little bit of background on the Potomac River, not near as much as you guys, but my whole theory when it comes down to the Potomac River, I'm not the type of fisherman to sit down in one area. Now, this goes for anywhere. It doesn't matter what part of the country. I mean, I'm not one of those types of fishermen that puts 3 rods on his deck, gets in one grass bed or one area, and just grinds it out. That's not my style of fishing. I put on 25 rods on my deck, dude. I'm tripping over rods all day long, and I just run around like a damn madman. I think it's a Jersey thing, but so for me, going into the Potomac River, I knew right out of the gates, looking at the tide the first day of the tournament, it was going to be dead low tide down there at Potomac Creek. So with that, the tide was only going to get better each day, and it was going to allow me to run the tide at low water the first 3 or 4 hours of the event every single day. So for me, I tried to find a lot of low water spots, starting from Potomac Creek all the way up to the Pentagon Lagoons. I mean, I ran the tide the first 3 or 4 hours of every day of the event. And then after that, I would hunker down in a couple of the grass beds or start fishing some hard cover, whether it be wood, boat docks, or some pads. But like you said, man, I mean, the first day of the event, on our off day, I mean, we just got downpoured. I mean, it was like a damn monsoon over there. We had a tornado come through our campsite. I mean, every trees were all over the place. I mean, talk about extreme weather.
Yeah.
And it really threw a wrench, I mean, I knew this tournament, based on my practice, there was 2 winning patterns, I believe, that were going on the Potomac River that week. And the one of them is the back of the creeks. I mean, these fish, for those that don't really know tidal water, I mean, I know you guys know it a lot, but the viewers that are listening, tidal river fish, come summertime, they want to get in current. I mean, the water's getting hot. Current has more oxygen, has more current flow. They want to get in current. That's what they try and do. So these fish will move way in the backs of these creeks, and then there's another big population of fish that go to the main river, because those are 2 places that are going to have the largest amount of current.
Yeah.
So in my practice, I saw that in these creeks you can catch them really good, and it could blow 50 miles an hour and you were fine. And then also Main River, if it blew 50, it would be all blown out. And the only thing that could really hurt that is if the wind kept on changing around. Well, unfortunately, in the tournament, I mean, it rained like friggin' 20 inches, and it blew 3 different directions in 3 different days. So, I mean, everything got blown out. So days 3 and 4, I mean, I was just in scramble mode. And, I mean, it ended up being a tough event. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my first win, but I mean, I was able to have a good event and get through it.
Well, that was a great tournament. I mean, it was fun to watch, and gosh, the field there to be able to come in the top 10, to be able to come in second, that's amazing.
Well, it was an incredible scramble, Adrian. This is Pete, and man, we were all pulling for you. I was watching it all the time as well, and one of the couple things I found very interesting, one of which you mentioned was Potomac Creek. We hadn't seen that play.
That's old school
in a major tournament for years and years. But Clark did well there apparently, and you're telling me now that you were fishing in that creek. That creek must have been really hot this year.
Something that was even more incredible than that. And I mean, you go back, way back when Steve Reese won it out in Nanjamoy, and a couple other guys called him in Nanjamoy when they did that stocking program way back when. Clark actually spent a lot of time in Nanjamoy too, which, I mean, you know, me personally, I've caught like 3 bass total in my life out of Nanjamo, and I completely wrote it off. And that's something that's not like me. You know, usually I try everything in practice, but that's one creek that I wrote off. But like you said, it seemed like those southern creeks, for whatever reason, were playing big time in our event.
Wow.
How about that?
That's really good to see.
Yeah.
I hadn't fished I remember fishing in there with Jimmy Houston on one side of me.
Wow.
That's how long ago
Was he giggling?
He was. We were all catching him. I remember I fished a Bassmaster tournament there where half the field was in the mouth of Potomac Creek.
Wow.
And everybody was getting limits. But that was 10 years ago.
Was Guy
years
Eager
ago.
there?
Yeah.
Do you know he's only got 7 fingers? That's it. Three were cut off in a mechanical accident.
I thought he was a carpenter.
No, he's not a carpenter. So Adrian, so you've got the season behind you, an amazing regular tour season. You've got an amazing Potomac tournament just happened. What do you got going on now the rest of the season? Obviously, you've got the Cup coming. I know you're going to do a lot of prep work for that. You practice hard, you fish hard. I watch you out there. Tell us a little bit about what you have the next couple months going on.
Yeah, pretty much I got about 5 days before I hit the road again. I'm heading to the James River for that Bass Northern Open right around the 4th of July. But then here in the next couple of days, I got a couple of saltwater charters. Got to take some people out, and of course, one of the biggest things for us each year is ICAST. You know, so right after that Bass Northern Open, I'll be heading to ICAST, and then right from ICAST, I'll be heading down to Arkansas. So just a lot going on. You know, just trying to stay busy. It seems like we only have 6 major tour events, and you guys over there, you have a little bit more than us, but this deal never ends. It's an ongoing thing, as a lot of you guys know, and so I'm just trying to keep busy, stay on top of things, and I'd like to do well over there on the James River. I hear that place over there has been a mudbath here the last few days too. They got dumped on.
Yeah, I'm sure that place has got beat too. Adrian, thank you for joining us tonight. It's great to hear from you. Great to get an update. Before we let you go, let everybody know how they can find you on the web and social media and follow you and follow what you're doing.
Yeah, the biggest thing, guys, I take advantage of all social media. It's not quite as good as Mike, but pretty much Adrian Avena on everything, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I also have a website. It's adrianavena.com. So, thank you all for letting me have on the show. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is also adrianlavena@gmail.com. You guys have any questions, feel free to give me a shout.
You got it. Adrian, thank you for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of weeks down at ICAST.
Good luck
thanks a lot, Mike.
at the FLW Championship.
Take care, Pete.
Good luck, Adrian. Wow. Man, he's on fire. I tell you, that was impressive. He actually, Mike, I want to get your thoughts on this. He gave his personal email away live on the show.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't know how many people hack phishing websites and stuff. I could look into that for you. I don't know. I tell people never even use a personal email address. Use something else that forwards to that or proxies to other thing. It's just, and it's not a hacking thing. It's more of a phishing thing. The guy obviously does well, makes money, and that attracts the scum. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's interesting because I always say this. I tell this to Beck, Brian, and Pete. We've all had this conversation. It seems like the fishing industry is like 10 years back behind mainstream America. I'm serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
like
not good. Yeah.
It's like they're always a step back. It's like a subculture. Yeah. But the only hacking incident I ever remember happened probably 2 or 3 years ago. And it actually happened on Pete's site, PeteGlusick.com. And I'm not sure if you know, but the
and he mentions his site, so everybody can
right. But the Las Vegas show, the guys from the show Thunder Down Under, hacked his site.
Yeah, sure.
All those guys with the big muscles and they're wearing a little leaf on their crotch. Yeah. They actually hacked Pete's site.
It's
no,
never
I believe it. And it's not. A lot of people think that the hackers are sitting in the basement. Anybody can go to the web, learn the basics of hacking. You can learn how to build a bomb, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But hacking, grab a script, execute it on your site, and it's that simple. And there's millions of them a day. We call them script kiddies.
Wow.
Instead of going to the library, you go online. I want to hack this site. You copy a script, and then you have all kinds of problems. It happens all the time.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. How we doing back there in the booth? Beck, do we have any comments, questions, posts coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
All right, so we seem to have a theme tonight
Yes.
with, one guy. I'm going to give this to you in multiple parts, and
Okay.
you and Pete jump around with it.
Yeah.
One, issues with, back of boaters, like if you're in the front of the boat and the back of the boat guy trying to fish your water, that kind of thing, vice versa.
Co-angler, you're saying? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dealing with that kind of thing. I've got another guy with an interesting question. He's always been a co. Now he's got his first boat. He's excited, but he's not fishing as well.
Right.
So what?
Well, that's a good question. Let's jump into that one. That's actually a really good question. What's his name? Did he give a name on the IM board?
That would be just the comment from South Florida. Ike just bought my first boat.
South Florida.
09 Cougar FTD.
Whoa,
Never really
Cougar.
have had a problem catching fish
Best
until
guy.
finally fishing from the front.
Yeah.
Am I fishing too fast, thinking too much, etc.?
That's a great question, Pete. And I think we've all had that transformation where we went from bank angler to John boat angler to owning your first boat. You were a co-angler, now you're in the front. That can be a tough transition. That could be tough.
Well, it's a huge transition because now on top of, as a co-angler or non-boater, your main focus was triggering strikes.
Yeah.
That's all you eat.
That's all you worried about.
That's all you worry about.
Yeah.
Right. What's the best lure? How can I trigger more bites? And you're really focused. You're relaxed and concentrated on that effort. Now you add to it the decision making thing, and that's where the demons get in your head. Should I stay? Should I go? Am I on the winning pattern? Am I even in the ballpark of the winning pattern? And that starts to deteriorate on your confidence, which is going to directly affect your ability to trigger strikes and that sort of stuff. So so that's a big adjustment. It's a huge thing to make, and a lot of people don't practice decision making.
Yeah.
They wait until tournament day till they really practice, making those high
And you
pressure
can
decisions.
practice that, right? A practice day or a fun fishing day, you can go through your mind mental exercises to help you make those decisions.
Here's one little thing I do all the time in my practicing. And this is just one of the things. I set up all these scenarios and I practice decision making, but one that I practice every day is once I execute my practice plan, I look at the particular area I was in, try to establish a pattern or whatever it may be. I take that last hour and I put myself in the last hour of the tournament. Right?
Yeah.
I've got 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I got to get a bite or got to get a limit depending on the
you
body of
mentally
water.
put the pressure on yourself.
I put I take the lessons that I learned from the whole practice day.
Yeah.
And I apply them to that last hour.
It's cool.
And I go out and try to execute. All that's doing is it's helping your decision making, and you're practicing that decision making. And the more practiced you get at making those decisions, the less pressure you're going to feel in the tournament scenario, and then you can get back to the business of triggering strikes and let those things that you're really good at shine. And I think that decision making is blocking that for maybe this individual or guys like me.
Yeah, that's neat. I tell you, the only thing I'd like to add, and that's a great strategy. The only thing I'd like to add to that is I actually can close my eyes and remember my first boat and when I made that switch, and all of a sudden now I'm in the front making decisions. And I can remember getting to a new body of water, a big one, Kerr Reservoir, right? You launch and you look out there and you're like, you're looking around and there's just so much water. I can tell you one of the things I did early on, especially until I got to that confidence level, was to limit yourself in that lake. Don't try to fish the entire lake. It's a 30,000 acre lake. Break it down into manageable sections. And I still do that now, 16 years later. You could take a section of a lake and quarter it off, third it off, and limit your practice day to that one area. Force yourself to stay in that one area. And you start thinking more about the patterns and the fish and what they're doing than worried about what's up lake or, 30 miles downriver or, way up that creek. Limit yourself to smaller areas in the lake or river that you're fishing, and that'll help you mentally too. That's a great question. What else we got, Beck? We got anything else good coming through?
William G would like to know, when catching schooling fish, how do you get them to bite after catching a few, but they stop hitting,
Liquid
even
mayhem.
though they are still there schooling?
That's a great question. That's another really good one. We're getting some good ones in there tonight. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. You're out there, you pull up on a spot, they're busting everywhere. Anything you throw out there, it seems like they bite. All of a sudden, the bite decompresses. You can't get them to hit anymore, but you still see them schooling. What do you do, Pete? What's your first strategy?
Well, I've got a couple strategies for this, and one of the things I really like to do is change colors. When I'm around schooling fish in particular, like I've been around them and using lipless crankbaits and various crankbaits, and what I'll do is I'll get multiple colors of that crankbait that they're biting when they're schooling, if they're biting that technique, that strategy. And what I'll do is, it may be a chartreuse crankbait that I'm catching them on. You release cullowfish, he goes back oftentimes and he tells his buddies that you're up there and this isn't real. It's a trick. Don't bite that. And what you do is if you simply change colors once they stop, then you can reactivate that school again with the new color. And then I'll change sizes too. But here's one thing that is in particular that I've learned about this that makes it hard, or it can be hard. The longer that school goes inactive, the harder it is to trigger them again.
I've seen
so
that.
You got to move fast. You can't wait. Like when you're catching them every cast and you're getting them schoolies coming in, and you make 1 or 2 or even 3 casts without a strike.
Yeah.
Change immediately.
Yeah.
Don't keep going. But give them a different look, a different sound, a different color, a different tool immediately, and be ready to go with that, because you can get them triggered again and keep this going for a half hour, an hour sometimes. But like I said, the longer it goes, man, it goes a minute, 5 minutes go by, all of a sudden these fish are locked up.
Yeah, you're getting screwed the longer they go. I like all those strategies. I'm going to add 3 things real quick that I do, and I've had those scenarios a lot. First one you mentioned is size. Seems in my experience, when things start going south, I go to really small stuff. I go to that really small swim bait. I go to an inline spinner, believe it or not. I'm not kidding you. Really small stuff on light line seems to be a cure. The other 2 things I want to mention is the Hydrowave, the sound unit, the old Biosonics. I will actually use that. I usually, when I start on schooling fish, I don't have it on, and I try to catch them without that unit on. When they compress and they stop biting, I fire up that sound, and a lot of times the sound will make that school refire. One last thing, and you're going to think I'm nuts, but I want to tell you that I've had schooling fish. Lake Murray would be an example. A couple other lakes down there on those herring lakes, where when they're schooling and it seems like they stop or they're still coming up a little bit and nothing's working. You've went through colors, sizes, sound. I'll actually run the boat through the school. And hear me out on this one. I know, saltwater guys are saying, yeah, I do that. But for freshwater guys, they think it's ridiculous. But as a last resort on a place where they're schooling, I'll actually run donuts around the spot. I'll get in there with the outboard where they're schooling, and I'll hit it, and I'll just kind of try to make a lot of waves and noises, and then I immediately get off pad, and I got my bait ready, and I just wait. And a lot of times, that'll make them come back up at school. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Great question, Brian. I noticed something over there. What do you got cooking? You got something cooking for us?
Yeah, I'm setting up a X mark spot whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We have to see this one. Can we please do this one?
Okay.
Yeah, just let me get the picture cropped in.
Okay. All right.
I got an interesting thing going on tomorrow.
What do you got?
Ish Monroe,
Ishama, yes,
friend of the show, Bass University instructor.
Yes,
is now the world record holder.
What?
For the Bass University.
Wow. What do you mean by that?
His fee for on-water training is the highest in our entire program.
Wow.
And he has his first booking tomorrow.
Wow.
Under that awesome rate.
Good job.
Congratulations. But no, he's going to be out on the Upper Chesapeake with a customer tomorrow, going over various Ish Monroe techniques. Frogging, I'm sure, is going to
That's
be high on the
awesome.
list.
That's a good place to do it too.
Yeah, it's a perfect place
Wow.
to do it. So.
Well, good job, Ish, and I hope the student he fishes with learns a lot. He will, for sure.
He's going to have a good time.
It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. All right.
I need you to clarify something from the last explanation from the question. You kept using the word compress.
Compress.
Can you elaborate on that term or exactly what you're trying to say to do?
Yeah. So
Just clarify.
Absolutely. When I say the bite compresses, I mean it gets crappy. They stop biting. You know, and you can almost feel it. Like I've been out there so many times where you're catching them, and you know it's one after another, or you know every 5 casts you're getting a bite, and you just feel like they're biting. But then all of a sudden, you know, things quiet down. You're not getting the bites. You're not seeing the bait on the graph. You're not seeing the fish jump, and you feel it compress. It's once you start seeing it, you'll know what it is. But basically, the fishing gets crappy. What is what I mean by when I say it compresses. Yeah.
Excellent. Brian, are we ready for video or more questions?
Oh, man, we're ready.
Okay, we're going to show, Brian the Carpenter has lined up for us here. This is an example of one of the videos submitted to the Xark Take Back Your Weekend sweepstakes. And this is the kind of video, it's an example of what you can send in. Keep in mind, you've got today and you've got tomorrow, tomorrow midnight to submit it. So we're going to take a little break. Check this out. This is an Xark submission. Let it roll, Brian.
Honey, can you cut the grass?
I don't cut the yard cuts me. Check this out. My yard's so tough, it even broke my lawnmower. Look at this piece of crap. Xark, there's so many more things I could be doing to take back my weekend. Here's just a few. Playing video games. Practicing martial arts. Shooting at the range. And practicing busting a move.
Whoa, Michael Jackson.
Man.
It takes me forever.
He's got
to
some
make
moves.
this look like this. Xark, help me take back my weekend.
Wow. Wow. Man, I got to tell you, we're not the judges of this contest whatsoever. We don't have any pull or any say into who wins this contest. But I got to say that's pretty darn good. He'd be on my top 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That's
wow.
funny.
Dave, I know by the way, let me remind everybody, joining us, just walked in, is, what is that noise? Is that you?
My Pandora's on, dude.
What the heck? Who is that?
Awesome Lamb of God.
Lamb of God?
You know, I just let it play.
Wow. Joining us with Lamb of God and his automatic Pandora playing, just walked in, better late than never. Dave Brodzik, a.k.a. Fatty, a.k.a. Wharf. Dave, how you doing tonight?
How's it going?
Good to see you.
I got my disguise on, too. Mike can't be the only one who's not being recognized now.
I see that.
Hey,
yeah, I like
I'm
it.
sick of being recognized. I'm in disguise with you tonight, Mike.
You got to be in disguise.
All right.
It's important. It's important.
Yeah. Nah.
The eyes are the key to the soul.
good
so
look.
you can't see the eyes.
Yeah.
You can't see the soul.
You have no soul.
Nah, I can't wear sunglasses indoors, dude. Makes me feel like a Puerto Rican.
Not like the song. Not like the song. I wear my sun. I mean, nothing like that.
Nah, dude.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. So let's catch up with you real quick. How are you doing? How's your summer going? How's things with you?
Everything's good, man. Everything's going well.
Okay.
Fishing.
Good.
You know, just gardening. Nothing much,
Yeah.
dude.
Anything good on the fishing front? Anything exciting?
Nah.
Okay.
Just fishing out of McGraw's canoe, which is now mine.
Oh, is it? Is it at your house? Did he
Yeah.
leave it for you? Okay.
I don't think he has. I think he's still living with his mother-in-law.
They actually just moved her into an apartment, like within the week.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hostile takeover.
Hostile takeover. Yeah.
How
so
about that, man?
They're solo again. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's good to have you in here. It's good to have you in here. We've had an interesting show so far.
No, it's been a good show.
It's been really good. Yeah, well, it's been good. And you came in just in time for we're gonna have Brian Bickell on the phone here in a couple minutes.
Cool.
Very excited. Yeah, we're gonna harass him about all kinds of stuff.
So, Mike, to catch you up on the phone.
Yes.
It seems to be fine on the broadcast. Nobody else can tell that there's an issue but us.
Okay, so it's just super low. We'll be real quiet, and we'll just do our best to hear.
Yeah, we're struggling to hear him in our headsets.
Brian, the first time Avena was on, it was bad. The second time you got him, it was good.
Okay, and I had Jeffries on the line. He says it might have been. He thinks it's storm related. So, power surge related.
Everything's storm related, Pete.
Yeah.
Everything. If something's broke, you blame it on the storm.
If you're the engineer.
If you're the engineer.
Pete, you look great, dude.
Thank you, man.
All right.
222.
It's obvious. Looking at you, actually, when I was driving down here watching the show, it's obvious.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, we got almost 30 pounds off.
Yeah. How are you getting better looking with age? You know what I mean?
Wait,
how's that happening?
You're not taking that HGH stuff that Byron was taking, are you?
You know, it's going to come out in my book.
I think he's rubbing stem cell cream on his face or something.
Oh! Isn't that illegal? Where'd you get that? Was it black market shit?
Deep web, man. You can get anything.
Whatever it takes, man. Except for the gray hair, man.
Well,
you lose weight. You lose weight. You look younger, man. That's the way.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Some people will actually gray their hair and beard in certain areas, like you've got. It's kind of. I mean, they'll do that on purpose to look more distinguished.
It's getting popular. Young girls are going gray. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The gray
The hell are you
is
watching?
in.
Yeah,
Kylie Jenner, didn't she do gray at one point?
Yeah.
Now she has all the color extensions.
Oh no!
We are so digressing,
Everybody's
but
going gray.
It was piercings for a while, like piercings all over,
Yeah.
tattoos,
So bad.
and now it's girls with gray hair.
hey, listen, there is a viewer who is losing weight with Pete, and he's basically neck and neck with you. Very proud of you.
Wow, neck and neck.
Well
Not
done.
that we want to make this a diet show, but Pete, we do have people curious what you're doing. So if you could give a brief rundown.
And don't give too much away because we want to sell this damn video in a couple months. So don't give too much away.
Leave out the crack smoking.
Yeah, don't leave that out.
I'll give you the simple rundown on it. Is I have been doing the P90X workouts. That's what I do in the AM. Now that I'm fishing, I can't do it every day, so I'm down to about 2 to 4 days a week, and I do that. I'm doing low carbs. I knocked out the sugar, and one tough one for me to knock out was
Donuts.
I like to have a glass of wine with dinner or Captain Morgan's
And donuts.
when I get home from fishing or whatnot, and I've knocked that out on a daily basis.
Wow.
So that's been a real big thing. That I tell you what, alcohol is bad. You can be really strong with your diet application, your exercise, but just having a little alcohol, the body uses that as fuel first, and it just prevents any weight loss. So it was really, I was hitting a wall. I just knocked it out, and and it just ripped off like 15 pounds right after I did that. And I'm doing that, and all what I also do, really cool thing, and I learned this from the Today Show, is 10,000 steps a day is what you should try to accomplish if you're trying to lose some weight. I talk on the phone for work nonstop. I have to do sales, Bash University TV, whatever it is. I just get my headset on and I start walking. I walk I walk my block around my neighborhood. I walk on the park across the street. I get all my work done right on my iPhone, and man, that's been a tremendous thing, because it takes 45 minutes, an hour to get through a lot of these calls, and you're walking the whole time. You don't even really know you're doing it, and next thing you know, you burned a pile of calories.
Do you monitor anything? Do you have, the Fitbit or the iWatch, anything like that? Do you monitor anything?
It's a good question, and I want that. That. I haven't not monitored, but I want to start keeping a closer attention on it. Start manipulating what I'm doing a little bit stronger, because here I am down after losing 30 pounds. I'm hitting the plateau again, so I gotta shock my body somehow.
I knew that walking thing was working for you, because it was a month ago or so. You were on the phone with me when you were walking, and he got so busy, like he said, you kind of forget what you're doing. And I'm on the phone with him, and he realized he was on Martin Luther King Boulevard in Camden, and John Holland approached him. So, I know he gets into what he's doing.
Pete, are you worried about a silver alert if you walk too far and get lost?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Silver alert. We're going to have you on 295. on the broadcast.
No,
You know, we did get a question though. Are we going to get Pete a new chair?
We are going to get Pete a chair. Pete, if you're going to reach your goal, you're going to do the Ike Foundation donation. We will get you a new chair.
Wow.
Maybe
Definitely.
we'll get Pete a new chair with a Fitbit.
there
built
you go.
into it.
Yeah.
Integrated. They make stuff like that. You know, you can get the shirts that monitor your muscle contractions, and my company actually makes a watch called Star Watch that monitors your circadian rhythms, tells you when you should sleep. All kinds of different stuff. We make it for astronauts, but I could,
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I want something that measures my circadian rhythm.
I know. I
rhythms.
just want you to say that.
I know, right?
That does sound cool.
I suspect I burn more calories when Brian and Dave are busting my chops.
Probably.
I think I
that's a
lose a little more.
I think you do.
It makes me feel bad. I mean, I want to lose weight now. You look nice. My room looks fit, nice, and maybe I ought to get my shit together.
We're gonna get you. I promise you, we'll get you a fancy chair. It might have some of these items, and it might have the deal where you can just crap right in the chair. You don't even have to go to the bathroom. What is that? You got the toilet right in the bottom. You can just crap right there where you're sitting. You never even have to get up.
Hey, Becca, I like the retro '60s outfit tonight. Looks pretty good.
Thank you. I'm going with the gypsy look.
Yeah, gypsy look. No designer tonight, Dave.
No, I don't know about gypsy. It's
She's
more
more
like
like Hare
you're-
Krishna.
Yeah, like the only hot,
Hare Krishna.
like the only hot chick at a Fish concert. Or something. You're just missing a pair of chipmunks to put under your arms, dude.
You know, Dave's compliments are always slightly backhanded, but I'll take them.
No, dude, you hear me, Beck? I said all you're missing are a tandem set of chipmunks to put under your arms.
I know.
Fit in with the fish chicks.
Hey,
We
we
saw
saw them
those.
at the tall ships.
We saw those. Yeah, we went to the Camden waterfront. Had the tall ships came into port this weekend, and they it was really cool. Did you end up making it there, Peter?
I did. I went and checked out
Yeah.
the tall ships on Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday night.
really
Fish
cool.
concert?
We didn't go to the fish concert.
Oh.
No, but the tall ships was cool. But we went on one of the tall ships, and it was a working tall ship, pirate-looking ship, and the crew were all hippies. All the chick, hairy armpits, unshaven legs. I mean,
Unkempt.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
Gray hair.
A little bit of gray, absolutely, a little bit of gray.
Every one of them
Yeah.
smell like they just shoplifted like a 6-inch Italian hoagie.
Yeah.
Like every one of them.
Well, the interesting thing is 3 or 4 of them were from they had Australian or something accent,
Ooh,
right?
I like that.
They had some kind of accent, and then the one chick that was at the thing before we left, I took a double take and looked at her. It was Carla Cole.
Who's that?
Yeah, she was just on Facebook.
There you have it.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
with the
she's-
inside,
Sorry.
with the inside. Apparently,
What did I
Carla
tell you
Cole
about-
probably went to high school
yeah.
with them. Everyone make the assumption someone
Yeah.
went to high school with them.
It was a joke. It was
That's,
a very inside
that's a
joke.
very good assumption to make every time.
She's doing well.
Pete and I are lost.
Come on,
Pete and I are
girl.
always
Yeah,
in the
okay.
dark
She
on
never
these.
wore shoes.
Yeah.
We used to call her Dirty Feet because she never wore shoes.
She's doing well, man.
Does she?
Great
Yeah, she
mother.
joined the army.
Great.
I
She
hope
was in
she's
the
not
Army.
watching the
No.
show.
I could have swore
You're
she was.
thinking, you're thinking Nicole Jeffers.
Oh, Nicole Jeffers.
Yeah.
I thought Carla Cole did too.
I don't think so.
She didn't join the
But yeah,
service.
Nicole
Okay.
Jeffers did. We hung out one night. Yeah,
God.
she's doing great
Okay.
too. Oh, they're all doing great.
Okay. Shout out to Belmar girls.
Right on.
Hey, I do have an issue with the tall ships, though.
You
I
do?
got to be honest.
Okay. The
I mean,
lines.
come on.
The lines.
Well, the lines were ridiculous for
Yes.
people to want to get on.
It was a
look
big
at the
line.
ship.
It was a big
and
line.
my parents were fascinated with wanting to go, but I'm there out on the river today
Yeah.
with Todd from the Mid-Atlantic Youth Anglers. We were out fishing today, and we're fishing on the main river on the Delaware River, and here come the tall ships down the river. And I am psyched. I am ready to record. This is going to be great, man. They're sailing down the river.
Yeah.
Not one sail was up on those sailboats.
Wow, they were cheating.
Every single one of those has an engine with a prop on it.
They have IOs on
and they
there.
were driving those big ships down the river.
600 horse.
I don't know.
Hiding underneath the pirate ship.
I felt a little misled.
Boo! Bogus tall ships. Boo!
They should have been
boo.
sailing those ships.
Wow.
They weren't sailing.
Wow. Well, that's disappointing.
But they were pretty awesome.
They were awesome. They were awesome. It's neat to see those out there. Brian the Carpenter, a.k.a. Ding Dong, a.k.a. Spock, a.k.a. Press One Spock. Do we have Mr. Bickell ready, or he's? All right. Let's call Brian Bickell up. Let's call Bix up and see how he's doing. Let's get an update with him. Man, what would you do if you had the Stanley Cup for a day? What would you do with it, Dave? You had it. They came over to your house, said, "Here, you take this thing, Do whatever you want with it for a day.
Dave would
What are you
plant
going to do? You going
flowers
to
in
plant
it.
mums in it?
No, I would just tell them, don't put it in front of my TV. I'm playing Call of Duty. I don't know. Like, hockey never mattered to me. I only
Yeah,
played
but that's
hockey
that
because
trophy.
you guys made me. You put
I
me in
know, but
shitty substandard goalie equipment in February and just fired shots at me. And, you know?
shot. Yeah, but that is the pinnacle cup trophy
get it.
of the sport. I mean, what would you? I would show it off like crazy.
I don't know. I mean, probably. Like, I just don't get hockey, so I don't know. I really can't buy into what I would do with that. You know what I mean?
What would you do with the cup?
Man.
Oh, dude, I would. I would put it in the back. I would first of all, I would take the cap off the Toyota, and I'd put it in the back of the Toyota, in the bed of the truck, and I would harness it in such a way that everybody could see it, and I would just drive around with it. I want to take a bath in it.
Nice.
I'd want to drink beer out of it. I'd want to rub up against it.
That's nice.
In certain ways. I'd probably take it to Downing and get out my old street hockey stuff and fire a couple shots at it
Nice.
with a Milac ball. I don't know. I think it would be amazing to have it.
The Scotty B.
Scotty B's a huge hockey fan.
Scotty B's a huge
Scotty,
hockey fan.
by the way, I'm still sorry about the note on your truck all these years later.
He told me a story. I think it was Pittsburgh. I can't remember, but he told they were celebrating with the cup and they were partying heavy at one of the guys' houses, and it got to be 4:00 in the morning, and they can't find the cup, and they're all panicking.
It was lost.
The cup is lost. Oh my God! They started having a total panic attack. Well, in with all the drinking and the partying and the celebrating that was going on, the cup wound up. It was at the bottom of the pool.
Wow.
It was not stolen, but
I thought the cup comes with a handler.
because of that event, it now has a full-time handler.
See that?
That
That
travels
was the
with
defining of a moment. Wow.
Yep.
That caused the handler.
Exactly. So
That's
now it does.
interesting. That's interesting.
Hey,
Yes, Dave.
have you reminded the fans to call in with their near-death stories?
We haven't yet.
We haven't gotten there, Dave.
Welcome to
haven't
the show,
gotten it.
Dave.
The fans are protesting. Stop telling us what to call in about.
I know. No, we will. Let's get through Brian, and then we'll switch to that, and we're going to make that a big topic of the show. Brian, we got joining us live on his phone. I don't know where he's at. He's driving somewhere. We're going to find out. Joining us live is the one and only Stanley Cup Champion, friend of the show, Chicago Blackhawks, Brian Bickell. Brian Bickell, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
How you doing?
Big introduction. It's going good. I'm just recovering and settling back in Canada after the week of partying, like you said, what happens after you win.
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. You guys are creating a dynasty over there. It's incredible. What does it feel like? What does it feel like? I mean, I know I've won a classic. I've won some big events. You're pumped up anytime you win something like that. But this is the third time. What does it feel like for you? What does it feel like for you guys, the team, to know you're creating something magical here?
It is special. It is a special time to be a Blackhawks player in a great city where, 10 years ago, it wasn't televised from, the 360 that it's has happened, and from where it's been to where it's now, it's unbelievable. And going into series and games, our team has confidence, and I think that goes a long way in any sport to win. And we've been through those situations and game sevens and series being down 3-1, down 3-0 to find ways to win. It's the character too. So experience and character, does go a long way.
That's awesome, and it was exciting. I think that's I relate it to like a bass tournament, where the weights are close going into the last day. You know what I mean? You've got 4 or 5 or 6 guys within a pound of winning. That's the kind of tournament you want to watch. And the same thing with the playoffs. It was exciting, very exciting throughout. Brian, talk a little bit about, we've read, we've all heard that you had a little bout of vertigo during the playoffs. Talk a little bit about that. What caused that? How did that come on for you?
I don't know what happened, to tell you the truth. I never had before. You know, I was coming into the Game 7 against Anaheim, and then they say maybe flying could have caused it, something to do with your ear and the way the moon shifted or something that night. I don't know what happened, and I wish I could pinpoint it. But, you know, it was brutal. I didn't want to put the team in any, you know, situation where I wasn't going to help them, so I had to not play. You're dizzy, and, you know, your eyes are all weird, and it wasn't a great spot to be in. I didn't want to hurt the team, so, you know, to see what they did in the finals to pull it off, it was definitely special.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know I'm friends with other people that had those issues at work, on the water. I actually went ice fishing last year with Dan from Rapala, and he got it like right there as we were ice fishing, and it's disabling. I mean, it totally throws you off, and you know, I mean, Dan was like nauseous to the point where he couldn't even function. You know, so it's a major deal. What how's it been? So I know I can imagine it's been pretty much nonstop for you guys, celebrating, partying, you know, doing the things you have to do with the cup. Have you had your day with the cup yet, Brian? What have you done?
I haven't had my day yet. My day is actually coming in like 3 days. So we've been doing preparation and planning parties around. You know, we're going to do in Toronto, which is like, you know, 45 minutes where I grew up, and have a day with it there, bringing the CN Tower, bringing it on a boat. It's going to be on Canada Day, it's July 1st, so it's like our July 4th for what you guys do. And,
right.
You know, it should be a special day. We've been doing a lot of planning and a lot of, you know, pulling hairs to get this all done, but, you know, looking forward to it. I kind of wanted, you know, in the earlier summer, so I don't have to, you know, get totally blacked out, wasted when I'm, you know, right a couple of weeks before the season starts. So it's funny to get it out of the way now.
That's awesome. Now, has Mercer called you yet? I'm sure he wants to get back and look at that cup again.
Yeah, I remember it was funny from the first time we won in 2010, and then he's like, next time you win, I'm going to bring it on the show. So we won in 2013. And now, you know, we won it again in 2015. If we didn't bring it on the show, I think he's just going to, you know, take in the festivities and drinking and partying and seeing what the cup's all really about. It brings in people from, you know, everywhere. Everyone sees it, especially being in Canada. It's everyone's dream, you know, growing up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we were, Pete was just talking about before he came on. Pete's got a good friend and client that is a huge hockey fan, and he told you a story of the cup being lost in a pool at one time. Where was that at, Pete? Where was that story from?
I think it was Pittsburgh when they won one year. They lost the cup
It ended up in the bottom of a swimming pool. I don't think that could happen now.
I haven't heard any stories like that, but you know, we do have a handler, like you guys were saying, that very watches a close eye from things you do. I remember we brought on the Dave's show where we had a life jacket on because that thing doesn't float very well when it gets full of water. It's really heavy. Some guys throw in the bottom of the pools, and the handler says, don't do it, and then they do it, and then there it goes. They take it away for, you know, the rest of the day. You never see it again. So, you know, you don't want to do anything like that again.
No. I got to ask you. I got to know. So you've been around the cup enough now that you've got to have some really good stories. So I'll just go ahead and say it. What's the absolute weirdest thing that you've ever seen with the cup? Now, that could be, you know, the cup going someplace weird. It could be somebody doing something weird to the cup. It could involve nudity. I mean, it could be anything. I need to know the weirdest thing you've seen with the cup.
That I've seen, I don't know. There's probably, I've heard, you know, guys have, you know, made love in the cup, things like that, and, you know, eat cereal and like things, which is kind of weird. Like I flipped a bass in the cup. I think that was, you know, pretty cool. But for seeing, you know, just everyone's faces when, you know, you pull it into a restaurant and, you know, everyone's having their own own dinner. It's just a normal, whatever, a Thursday night. And then, that cup shows in the restaurant, and just seeing those people's faces where they're eating dinner at like a 4-5-star restaurant, and then the cup comes in and people are, basically standing on the tables on their food just to see it. And, experiencing that, it's, truly, that's what, gets me.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were talking about it. I wouldn't even, I would just parade it all around. But you know what I would do? I wouldn't even take it. I'd take it to like the most common. I would take it to like Ground Round. I'd take it to like Ground Round or like Outback.
What are you going to get, a time machine? Ground Round has been open for...
No, there's a Ground Round. There's a Ground Round in Lake Champlain. There's a Ground Round up there still.
What is Ground Round? I haven't heard
Ground
of it.
Round, the restaurant. Yeah, pay what it weigh.
I think I remember.
Yeah, but that's where I would take it to like Red Lobster. And crack lobster in the top of it.
And then go to Ponderosa.
And then I go to Ponderosa. I mean, I'm just saying, I'd want to take it to I'd take it to the most run-of-the-mill restaurants. But it's amazing. I'd love to have that thing for a day. It'd be incredible. I don't know about the making love to it. I don't know where I'd have to get on a smooth spot.
That's actually just...
you make love on it, not to it.
People have,
different
furniture and stuff.
They do.
It's a little weird, yeah.
They do. All right.
Yeah, there's furries.
It's furry.
Yeah,
now,
furries.
Brian, I want to let's switch gears a little bit. And I know we've texted a little, so I won't give it away. But tell us a little bit about how your fishing's been recently. I know, gosh, with the Stanley Cup playoffs and all the work you guys do, tell us how it's been. Have you got to experience any fishing here recently?
I have barely any at all. It's funny where, during the season and, during the playoffs, I do have a local club where they let me come in during the season and playoffs up in Chicago. But other than that, that's about it, what I've been doing all season. I got back home, maybe like 3 or 4 days ago, just settling in, and, I might go tomorrow. So I'm looking forward if the weather holds up and, get a couple more days. It's a little different, having a newborn and, more responsibilities that way. But, soon to be getting on the water. I'm looking forward to it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited. I'll tell you, you've got, and I didn't even get to tell you this now. I will tell you on air. I'm going to be making it up to your charity event in the fall, and can't wait to get up there and see you and participate in that event. Do you want to talk a little bit about that event and tell everybody when it is and what the proceeds are going to?
Yeah, it's me and my wife opened up our foundation about say 2 or 3 years ago, the Bryan and Amanda Bickell Foundation. It's for abused dogs, pit bull breeds, and abused kids that we've been working with, and we also partnered up with Brittany Payton, which is Walter Payton's daughter, to help out her charity, and it's on September 11th on Bangs Lake, just about an hour, north of Illinois. I was actually, before I left, I had a good opportunity to go fishing. There's a lot of big fish. There's a lot of fish. So, yourself, I really appreciate you, committing yourself on live air like that. And, Mercer said he was going to come up and Zona, and hopefully we can get some more elite guys to come up to have a good day.
It'll be awesome. I can't wait. It'll be nice for me because that's the end of the season. The pressure will be off for me, and that'll be a nice event. Miss Rebecca, do we have any IM questions coming through for Brian?
No, we just have lots of excited people. Apparently that was Mario Lemieux's pool in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
We do have one question now. We've got what club did Bickell fish for?
Oh.
Fish or what club? You mentioned you get to go fish in a club.
They want to know your fishing club so
they
can
all
join.
want to join.
Yeah, it's Mardi Gras. Actually, it's about 20 minutes from where's the airport? O'Hara Airport, up in the west of the city.
Gotcha.
McGraw, I think it is called McGraw. Yeah, McGraw.
There you have it. So you're going the club number is going to increase by 100 by 11 p.m. tonight.
Probably.
Yeah.
Steve Donis wants to know what reels you use, Bickell.
Ooh.
I have a very nice local deal with because I live in Peterborough in the summertime, and then Shimano is one of their headquarters is right a cast away from my door. So I've met a lot of good people in Shimano to help me out with my fishing habits and get me on the water.
There you have it.
I tell you, Scotty B's got a couple questions.
Scotty B's got questions coming through text.
Well, one of which we had a former flyer, Kimmo Timonen. Yeah, he went over to the Blackhawks, and he finally got a chance at his cup after going through a lot of trials and tribulations, and got his name on the cup. Did you get a chance? Have you got to know him a little bit out there? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, it was special to meet a guy like that, because he's a legend in Finland and legend in this league where he's been playing for 15 plus years, and him losing to us in 2010 was his closest chance of winning. And then coming here and having an opportunity, and when Taves got that cup the first time, he gave it to him right away, and almost brought a tear to my eye because it's so special and how good a guy and how long it truly takes to for a guy that long to get an opportunity to live a childhood dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's truly awesome accomplishment. We get a little piece of it being Flyers fans from around here. So
that's right.
We're appreciative of it.
Very, very small piece.
Yeah,
super small.
The other
sliver.
The other question is about Johnny Hockey from Jersey. He's supposedly a big bass fishing guy. Have you got a chance to fish with him?
Johnny Hockey?
Johnny Gaudreau.
No, I haven't. No, he's a new boy. He's a new guy. Came out of I think college.
He's brand new. He was in contention for Rookie of the Year this year. Didn't quite get it, but yeah. So he's from Jersey, and he's a bass fishing kid.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, that's a Jersey boy. That's like all the way right there,
man.
But yeah, he's a new guy that's got a lot of skill in this league, and the way he shoots the puck, I'm sure he can set a hook pretty good. So maybe we'll cross paths one of these times and. See who's the better fisherman. I'm sure he's got better hands than I do, but we'll see.
Maybe. So we've got this new thing, Brian, that we're doing, and I'd like to offer this to you. Moving forward with the show, we're really going to kind of do this role reversal thing with a lot of our guests, and I want to offer this opportunity to you. So the opportunity is that at some point in the next year or two, we'd like to get together with you, and we're going to have 2 competitions. And the first one, of course, is going to be a fishing competition. So we'll compete against each other in a couple hours of fishing. And you already beat me, so you shouldn't worry there. But the second one, and this is the one where you should worry, is we're going to compete against each other in hockey. But wait a minute, not ice hockey, just street hockey. Just a regular Milac stick, a ball. Would you be up for that challenge, Brian?
Yeah, I will accept your challenge.
Yeah! Yes!
Hopefully next time when I'm down in Philly, the next game, if it's in the start of the season, where it's nice, and we can do it in the winter time too. I'm sure we get the snowbanks and we get some boards, and like we used to do back in the day.
I like it. So if I show up to the charity event with a street hockey stick sticking out of my backpack, don't get excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We might have some more other guys jump in to maybe a couple of my teammates to help me out, but I've seen your skills. We'll see.
It'll be fun. I can't wait. Brian, thank you again for joining us, man. We're so excited for you. We're so proud of you for doing that again, winning the cup. Have fun with it on your day. Tell the wife we said hello, and I'll talk to you. And if I don't see you before the fall, I will for sure see you at that event. And thank you for joining us again on Ike Live.
Let everyone know where they can get information about your event, though, Brian, because people are asking.
Yeah, it's on our foundation, Brian Amanda Bickell Foundation. It's on the internet, really. You can just Google my name, and it'll pop up that I have a foundation. That's about it, really. That's my source.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you,
Is that
Brian.
Congratulations, Brian.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Good to hear from you
talking
guys
to you.
again.
The dynasty.
Man, the dynasty. They're creating a dynasty.
3 out of 6.
That's
3 out of the
amazing.
last 6.
It's amazing. Brian, you're a hockey guy, and you were very quiet back there.
I'm producing.
You're producing. Okay. I mean, like a couple of years ago, if we had a hockey guy, and he, like, you know, he would have been drooling all over the place and, like, dry humping.
It's a church mouse back
He's
there.
got a lot to do back there.
I know he does. He's very
I'm
busy.
bringing up the images and
right.
and pictures.
But I didn't even hear any panning or anything.
Yeah. Here you go.
Disappointed. There you go.
Yeah, I like
Right.
that.
Late as usual.
Thanks again, Michael.
That's right. I was actually trying to, real quick, I was trying to brainstorm the rapid fire questions, and I could only come up with 2. And the first one was slap shot, wrist shot, or skip cast. Thought that was kind of bad. And the second one was when practicing, shooter tutor or sexual tutor.
I'm glad you skipped that.
I'm glad I didn't ask him.
Matter of fact, I wish you just never even said
I wish
that.
I would never said it. I don't know. That's the only thing that came to my mind. They're terrible.
Oh,
They
You
were
guys are
terrible.
supposed to be doing this. I'm not any good at that.
Yeah, well, next time.
that was
Next time. Man, that was exciting. And I'll tell you, anytime we get, I love when we get athletes from other realms in on the show.
Athletes.
Athletes.
Yeah.
Athletics from other parts of the world. That's amazing.
You know, it's funny. The one thing I pulled from both of those guys, we had Adrian on and Bickell. The both of them. The key to their wins
Is you couldn't hardly hear what they were saying.
Yeah. Other than that thing in common, they
Got a
both
really
had
good nap. What?
they both had talked about confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence
In their game. Bickell say once their team starts rolling, they get the confidence and they just feel like they're going to win every time.
I
and
think
they
that's
do.
very true. I think that's true in anything in life, but especially athletics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm confident Brian the Carpenter, a.k.a. Ding Dong, a.k.a.
Son of
Spock,
a
a.k.a.
bitch.
Press One Spock,
What?
is going to bring us to a small break here in a little bit.
What kind of small break would you
Very
like?
confident. I'm feeling like, let's see, I feel like we're about, I don't know, we're about an hour and a half into the show. I feel a little break coming on. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Okay,
definitely.
we got to get to start off the next part of the show. We have to get someone on air,
Yeah.
and I'll give you the background of it when we come back. And
Okay.
pretty special guest,
Really?
pretty funny guy.
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
You'll find out.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's roll into our story time. Story time.
Yeah, okay. When we come back, you're saying.
All right. So I've got a video I can play, or another one of these Xmark commercials.
Okay. Yes.
What would you like?
Whatever you want to give. Okay. Brian's going to give you something special here. Listen to me. Thank you for tuning in to Ike Live. Stay tuned. Hang with us for a couple minutes. We're going to take a short break. We're going to refill our beers. And when we come back, it's story time. Hang in there. We'll be right back. Ike Live.
By the way, Johnny.
Yeah, if I had a Xmark mower, man, I mean, I'm a full-time dad, husband, full-time job, musician. I do side work, web design and stuff. I gotta mow my yard, which is like an acre, and then my mom's yard, which is an acre and a quarter, and then my dad's yard, which is almost 2 acres. Actually, yeah. It takes 2 days to do. I mean, yeah, I could do them all in one day, but it would take me all day. I mean, all day, and it's usually a weekend because I don't have enough time during the week to do it. Oh man, if I had one of those mowers, dude, I could zip right through it, no problem. I mean, because I like doing stuff with my family on the weekends, whether it's hiking, going to the lake. We go on vacation, we like to vacate. would definitely take back my weekend with one of those mowers, and I would take it back like a boss. And we do a lot of stuff. We're pretty active. We like to go. And my kids are in dance, and basketball, and cheerleading, and just whatever, you name it, they're in it. I mean, I have to cram everything in like in one day just about, especially when it's time to mow, because, I got to take care of everybody else's yards, including myself. This way.
I was fishing last Friday on a lake in Mississippi in the humid summer heat. On a boat with my best friend Cletus, who was sleeping in the back seat. Well, the bites were slow and we were running low on chips and Gatorade. It'd been a long, hard day. I felt a tug on the line and I didn't pay attention. It was spinning way too fast. Before I knew it, I was staring at a 10-pound shiny bass. When I tried to pull the fish inside, I pulled a muscle in my upper thigh. I was so scared, I threw my rod up in the air. Cletus, take the reel, take it from my hands, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go, and I need your help fast. And if you don't, my fish is gone.
I think we're back. After that disturbing video.
Folks at home, thanks for hanging on, especially during that strange, weird video that Brian found on the web somewhere. No idea what that was. I just want to get caught up real quick, and let's talk real quick, Pete. Just let everybody know we fished together last week for a couple days. And that was a cool experience.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. We did it last year, and I don't get to fish with you near enough, and we talk a lot, and we never seem to get to fish together. We're usually in tournaments together, in our own boats. But what a neat experience! Had a blast, and you're crazy, man.
I didn't rip a hole in the bottom of the boat this time.
You tried.
I tried. But
Mike, this is great for those of you that have a $70,000 bass boat that you've paid your hard-earned dollars for. I want to tell you, Mike's definitive way to find a piece of habitat out anywhere in the world.
Find it with the motor.
Just to crash into it.
To crash into it with his boat, with his motor, whatever it takes. It's not really there unless you hit it. And,
hey, it's true. You actually know it's there.
I think it's
physical. It's there. It's a physical piece.
It's amazing to be a passenger, because you know how you're like when you're a passenger in a car and your driver's going too fast and you're hitting the air brakes trying to make the car stop. And that's what I find myself doing all the time as Mike's passenger. I'm like, stop, reverse. And he's amazing because he pulls up on a piece of habitat. He the boat drives it right up on there, and it looks like that's his strategy, because then it gives him a moment that he can go onto his GPS unit and with plenty of time plug in those exact coordinates.
I want it right there.
And wedged us up on trees, on barges, on rocks. It's truly amazing. But I can tell you this, for those of you that are students of the game, I mean, I'm always learning, and I learned a lot when I spent my time with Mike. But what I was most impressed that you're doing is your technology that you're using out on the water, between the Fishity maps, the Google Earth, matching that up with your full screen GPS, your side imaging, down scan stuff, how seamless Mike moves back and forth between these tools to find things that I've been missing. We were out on the Susquehanna Flats, where I've been fishing now, guiding for the last 5 to 10 years, but fishing there for almost 30 years. And Mike used technology to show me a little depression that neither one of us knew
Wasn't
was
that
there.
awesome?
But the mapping and it was truly amazing to watch you use that stuff.
It was cool. It was cool. We had a great time. We looked at some old stuff. We looked at a lot of new stuff. We did some pre-fishing. But I real quick want to just tell the story of when we found that piece. I just got to tell. I don't want to give too much away, but it was such a funny thing. I want to tell the story. So we're out there and we start talking about some hard stuff off the bank a little bit in this one area where we were looking, and I said, "Oh yeah, I found a couple things on my sonar, out there," and I ran him out there and showed him a couple of things that I had found, and Pete had remembered from years and years ago having found a piece out there, and he saved it, but it was on an old unit on an old boat that's long gone. The unit's long gone, doesn't have it anymore. And he goes, God, I remember there's one out there somewhere in this same area, sort of like what you're looking at here. And man, it was such a key piece, but I don't have a coordinate for it. Let's go out there and look for it. So we get out there and we start gridding, and we're out there forever, dude. We're out there for 20, 30 minutes. We're going back and forth. We're in that general area. And it's like 10, 15 years ago. There's no way in hell we're going to find this piece. The piece is smaller than this table right here, right? And we're out there, and we're just about to call it quits. And we're just about to get on pad, and we see the depth go down just a little bit. It's actually a little bit of a drop. And Pete said, wait a minute. This might be it. Because on that hard object, there's washes on either side of it from the current hitting it. So we come off pad, and I kind of turn back around, and we made another pass through, and I've got all my lines, so it's a grid. And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, we see the depth go down, and there it goes. We see that hard piece come up almost to the surface and back down. And, dude, you would have thought we won the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup or won the lottery.
Yeah, you found Red October.
Yeah, dude, we're out there. We're like, yeah, we're hugging, we're high-fiving. And there's nobody out there to even see us doing this. It was the craziest.
It was the most improbable find. You could look for 1,000 years and never find it again.
Nobody will find that piece. I guarantee it. Nobody will find that piece.
That was worth celebrating.
That was neat. And I want to mention also, I did spend a day with our very own Brian the Carpenter, a.k.a. Ding Dong, a.k.a. Spock, a.k.a. Press One Spock. And we had a pretty fun day, too, bro. We had an amazing day.
Pretty fun?
We had a really fun day.
We smashed them.
We had a good day. We caught a lot of fish in the limited time we fished, that's amazing. Yeah. We fished a quarter of the day, and in that limited time that we fished, we caught some really good ones, which was fun. It added some funness to it. But we had a great day on the water. Absolutely. Same thing though. We did a lot of work. We had a lot of looking. It was fun. But it's nice to get out with you guys. I don't get to fish with you guys enough. I think the last time I fished with Dave was like Top Rod 1997. So we got to get out in the boat together.
Maybe you could talk bass into having an elite on Lake Palatine.
On Palatine
next year.
Or Cooper River. Yeah. One of Dave's favorite spots, Cooper River. Anchor up down by the dam. Get in a fight with a guy.
Yeah, man.
Let me remind everybody that we have a fan contest tonight, just like we did last show, and we're going to be giving away amazing, tremendous prizes. The Tackle Warehouse gift pack that we always give away is an amazing prize. We're going to give away a Fishity gift pack. And tonight we've got an Abu Garcia one-of-a-kind signed tournament jersey. And tonight we've got a one-of-a-kind Toyota fishing team hat that we're going to be signing and sending to the grand prize winner of this contest. And it's a really cool theme tonight, Dave. I mean, this is neat because it breaks away a little bit from fishing, but this is a neat topic. Do you want to tell everybody what the fan contest is tonight?
Yeah, sure. So, guys, tonight what we want to hear about is your near-death experience. We want to know how, in detail, you either A, died and came back, or B, almost died.
Almost died, right.
Yeah, what spurred this on was I was coming home from a tournament with the New Jersey Federation treasurer, Jim Fishwick.
Yeah.
That told me a pretty amazing and funny story about how he almost met his maker. And he's actually going to come on the air tonight to start it all and start off, the evening with his near-death experience. Hey, Bryce, he close?
Yeah, he's on the phone. I think he's getting him up now. And this is a neat topic. Let me double check here. So this is near-death experience. It could relate to fishing, but doesn't necessarily have to, right?
Anything.
It could be anything. Okay.
Mine happens to be fishing involved.
Yeah.
But it could be anything.
Anything. Okay. So just near-death experience. Just a close call.
Yeah, and remember, there's always consolation presents for you. If you don't pack the gear with your initial near-death story, you can still qualify for a prize by guessing accurately what would Pete do, what would Mike do, and a new edition, what would Brian do, the producer.
Wow. No. I like that.
You also can, don't forget to guess the intelligent groups that we were placed in grade school. We left that open last week and no one guessed.
Yeah. We got a lot going
Mike
on
Richardson
here.
would be interested in that one.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, you want to get on that now, or do you want to
We
put
got Fishwick on the line.
We do. Okay, so let's jump into it. And let me remind everybody once again, a lot of ways to get in touch with us. You can IM us right there next to your screen. You can hit us up on social media at Ike Live Show, Mike Iaconelli _ on Twitter, or in a little bit, Brian's going to be putting up the toll-free number. Please call in. We want to hear your near-death experience, and of course, these beautiful prizes you can win. So let's go ahead and let's push. Let's put them through. Joining us via phone, Jim Fishwick. Jim,
how are you?
How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from tonight?
Good. I just left the Phillies game because they're tough to watch, and I'm actually at the Barrington Rod and Reel clubhouse now.
Wow, Barrington Rod and Reel! Shout out to Barrington Rod and Reel.
There you go.
That's awesome. So we've got this really cool contest tonight on near-death experiences, and we know you've got a good one. Can you tell us your story?
Absolutely. So I told this to Dave on the way home from the flats, and I'll give you a little preamble. So when I was 40, I decided it was time for me to buy a Harley Davidson. So bought home a Harley, said, honey, look what I bought. I didn't have any friends who rode or anything, so I start looking on the internet for guys to ride with. So this guy from Mount Ephraim calls me and says, all right, we'll go out riding. Go over to Philly, go to a bar, have a couple beers. He says, we got this group, we call them the Hoodlums. We're a bunch of computer guys. And in order to get a number in the Hoodlums, you got to put a girl on the back of your bike and you got to ride around Rittenhouse Square and get her to flash. Right? So that was the way you got a Hoodlum number. So I got mine a different way. I got mine by splitting between cars and knocking somebody's mirror off like the third day I was riding. So anyway, we have this group of guys, and, the Hoodlum number one, he was a vice president for a big computer company, and, we had guys who were computer programmers and all professionals and stuff. And we'd get together every Wednesday night in Philadelphia. We'd meet at Pat's, and we'd ride around Philly to all the bars, just have a good time. So I guess at some point, somebody thought it would be a cool idea to get a patch and wear a patch. So we'd be a real club. So we start going to we call up the Philadelphia Confederation of Clubs, which I'm sure everybody saw on the news recently what happened with the Confederation of Clubs out in Texas. So we start going to these meetings with all the outlaw bike clubs in Philly and a bunch of other bike clubs. And we're just a bunch of suit and tie guys. And we get our patch. Next thing you know, we're coming out of bars, and there's outlaw clubs standing around writing down our motorcycle tag numbers, things like that. Really smart stuff. So we rode around Philly for a while. It was probably the hottest time in Philly for that to be happening. But so we used to go to Wildwood to the bike rally every summer, the Roar to the Shore. So here's my near-death experience. So we're out there, and it's like a big gauntlet when you get there. Everybody rides down the main drag, revving your motorcycles, whatnot. So I'm at a stoplight, revving the hell out of my bike, and I had a bunch of engine work done to it, so it was pretty bad. Revving my bike, and the clutch cable pops, breaks. Next thing you know, I'm looking up at the sky, screaming across the intersection, take out 2 other bikes, some chick on a custom Fat Boy, had like Weber carburetors out the side, all custom chromed up and everything, and another guy messed my bike up pretty good. Cost me like $6,000 to fix her bike. Had every cop on the East Coast in my face, wanting to know if I had a drink or anything. So that, that was it, really. Without going into a long drawn, we could sit around and talk about all the stupid stuff that happened in Philly all night long. But the near death was the bike break and me almost killing myself and 2 other people in Wildwood. And I know somebody out there has it on film somewhere.
Hey, Jim, it's Dave. Tell the part of the story about how the outlaw biker gangs, what they had said to you guys. Like you said, you're a bunch of computer guys, and what made you guys leave and stop wearing like jackets with your bike gang name on?
So we were at a Confederation of Clubs meeting one night, and the president of one of the clubs, the local outlaw clubs, comes up to me and says, "Hey, I think it's time you guys put on a support patch." And I said, that's not going to happen. And he said, "Yes, it is." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "We're not going to stand out behind or in front of anybody and shoot people, whatever." So that's when we basically called it quits. But we had these guys that wanted us to be a support club for them and everything. And like I said, all we want to do is run around the city on our bikes and drink and stuff, and got the stupid idea to wear patches.
Hey, hold on, Jim. What was the name of your gang? Tell them the name of your gang. That's the best.
The Hoodlums. So instead of like you have all the motorcycle clubs out there that there's the MC. Well, we were the Hoodlums VMC. We were the virtual motorcycle club.
Wow.
So, and I still got the vest with the patch in my closet as a keepsake. And
wow.
We made the Channel 6 News one year, so,
That's a great story.
I thought the near-death experience was going to be when you crashed into the other bikers, that they were going to try to kill you, kick you for crashing up their bikes. That's what I thought.
Pull a hatchet out.
Dude, you got to understand, when they rev these engines, it's a gauntlet down the whole street.
Yeah.
And no one's in the middle of the street. It's just, wow, everyone's revving their engines. And there he is, just flying across, just wiping out everybody.
Yeah. And the funny thing about them following us around Philly was they were never on bikes. They were always in like a Hummer and a pickup truck and this and that. And they would follow us from bar to bar over there and then write down our tag numbers, see who was out there. We'd have anywhere from like 2 to 30 guys any given Wednesday.
Wow.
And so that was it.
Cool story.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Cool
Thanks
story.
for calling, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Man, what a good way to launch near-death experiences. That's a crazy one. When he started talking about the clubs and getting the patch, I couldn't help but to think of Randy Howe. Like thinking like Randy Howe might be a closet motorcycle guy with patches. You don't think so?
Dude, this happened right at the height of when like all the outlaw motorcycle gangs were fighting in Philadelphia. Remember that one dude, Gorilla?
Yeah.
He was like a former Philly cop. Like that was when those guys were all just gunslinging right in the middle of the streets, and him and his computer friends were driving around.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my God. Who's moving in on our turf? It's a bunch of computer programmers.
They didn't know what they were getting themselves into. That's unbelievable. Hey, let me remind everybody, right now, on the bottom of your screen, you see the toll-free number, 855-498-0691. Give us a call. We want to hear your near-death experience. Pete, are you ready to give yours?
Sure.
We'd love to hear yours. Wait, is this fishing related or non-fishing related?
Everything I got is fishing related.
Okay.
I've actually got a couple of them.
Okay.
But the bands we're talking about street. I'll talk about the very first time. with a guy named Don Zalewski.
Don Skaluski?
Yeah.
Talking about Don Sky?
Don Sky.
The Don Sky?
The Don
Hydra
Sky.
spinnerbait Don Sky?
Hydra spinnerbait.
Wow.
Old school. Well, we were headed down to the Potomac.
The Potomac.
To go fishing. We had a practice day and a tournament the next day. And we were driving, and he had a 4x4 Chevy pickup. I remember that. He was towing a Ranger boat. And we were going down 95. Doing about 70.
You're with him in the passenger seat.
I'm a passenger. I'm a non-boater
right
at this time. I'm in my 20s, I imagine, and we're driving down, just humming along about 70. It's early. There's not a lot of traffic out, and we're not in the all the way left lane. We're the next one over, right? So the left lane is open, and I'm kind of sitting without my seatbelt on, kind of looking at him, got a cup of coffee, and we're just pumped. We're going fishing on one of the greatest rivers in the history of the world. Can't wait to get to the Potomac, talking fishing nonstop. And I can see out, it's a pickup truck, so I can see the oncoming cars, and here comes a little compact car. Just a little bitty thing.
Fiat?
Something like that. And it's little. And it comes up to the boat, and I notice it a little closer, and it comes up just about behind the driver. And as I'm looking at this compact car, the driver wakes up.
Oh, no.
Driver's asleep, passing us in that lane. So he wakes up, and this monster rig is right there. So what's he do? Left at 75 miles an hour. So he turns his car left, and it goes sideways. And then he overcompensates right to straighten it out.
Yeah.
He's panic mode, and it straightens out right. And at 75, we're doing 70. Don doesn't even know what's going on. I'm seeing the whole thing. I can't talk. It's so fast.
Oh, my God, dude.
Slams right into the boat.
Oh,
I mean, wide open, slams into it. So we're driving, and like Don doesn't know what's happening. He feels the impact off of the passenger window. There's the Ranger boat.
Oh, not good.
He drove it completely around, and he continues to push us. We're doing at 70 with boat in tow and a car stuck to the boat. All three vehicles do a 360 spin on the highway. We're just going around, and Don he's frantically. He's going left. He's going right. He's trying to drive, trying to figure out what's happening to him. He probably doesn't even know what's happening, but he's just trying to steer out of this thing. The car separates from the boat somehow, and we stop spinning, and we're pointed at the median when this happens. And probably now at 50, we shoot right into the median at 95. It's all grass. There's no barriers there at that spot. And we keep going right into oncoming traffic on the northbound lanes. Boat is incapacitated, and we're like, we thought we were dead. Don just slowly turns and steers out. You can see the cars coming, steers out, and gets us back into the median.
Wow.
And that was it. Now, here's what makes it crazy. Because we didn't have cell phones at that time, right? There was an overpass off in the distance. So I'm like, Don, I'm going to jog up to that overpass. I'm going to go call the police. We're going to get help. I don't know if the person's hurt or whatnot. I jogged up to the overpass. I waited for 5 minutes before I could cross the highway.
No.
The oncoming traffic was just, it was like rush hour at that time. It was nonstop.
Oh, my gosh.
But at that moment that we crashed, there was a space, a gap in the traffic.
Room to live.
And room to live. I'm still here because of it.
How about that?
We went, and here's the deal. The car was totaled. The boat, he hit the boat frame and bent it in. Flattened tire was a single axle. Flattened one of the tires. Me and Don shaking. Changed that tire, and we went fishing down the Potomac
You're
that day.
kidding
No, you
me.
didn't.
Yep.
Wow.
And we did not catch a single fish. Not a bite.
Wow.
Not a bite all day. We were
Wow.
just sitting there all day talking about how happy we were to be alive.
That's an amazing story.
You win.
That's an amazing story.
Contest is over.
Contest is over, and we're going to hear. I think we're going to hear a lot of auto-related near-death experiences, but that's amazing. That's an amazing one. Hey, special shout out and props to Don Skaluski, Don Sky, for steering that boat.
What are the odds
steering that truck of boat?
two Polacks surviving something like that?
I know. hey, had to have something to do with that silver shiner hydrant.
You remember that bus video we all saw in elementary school where the bus crashes and there's a knife floating through space that the kid wasn't supposed to have on the bus? It was all about what not to do on a bus.
I think
You guys don't remember?
Hold on, I'm thinking, dude.
Yeah.
No.
It was an emergency video to teach you what not to do and how you're supposed to ride on a school bus, how you're not supposed to have stuff. But one of the things I remember, a knife was floating through the air on this school bus video, and I don't know why I remembered that, but I remember stuff in Don's truck. We're doing the same thing, man. My cup of coffee was floating around the cab of the truck. All kinds of crazy.
Yo, could you imagine? Yo, Mike, could you imagine that same accident in one of Stockwell's vehicles, dude?
No.
No. We wouldn't be able to see what was happening. There'd just be shit everywhere, dude.
So you'd have a ladder on you. You'd have a piece of plywood, a 2x4. You'd have a cheeseburger from the 80s.
One of Dodge Strombolis.
Marino's pizza with glass in it.
Shout out to Marinos.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Marino's. Wow, good story, Pete.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Hey,
That's a hell of a near-deather.
Hey, Fishwick wants to know, did he win anything?
No.
He won the Don't Join a Motorcycle Gang award tonight.
Yeah. He won this button.
Don't hang with bikers, kids.
Pathetic loser.
Sound effect. What do we got? You want to put a couple of callers through? We got some IMs back.
I've got one IM that is definitely worth reading before we carry on too much further. So I've got KB Miller says, I was 16, just got my pilot's license. Accidentally flew into Whiteman Air Force Base airspace, showing off for my girlfriend at the time. Before I knew it, there were two F-16s buzzing me.
Oh my God!
I wish I would have died. Needless to say, my girlfriend never talked to me again.
Wow.
And my dad
That's a
about
good
killed
one.
me anyway when he found out. Could you imagine?
I cannot imagine.
How can we get guys like this, Mike, to do follow-up with them on these stories?
That is great.
'Cause that's great.
know.
That story's amazing. I would like to hear more.
I'd love to hear more. I'd love to have him call in. I'd love to have him call in. and
But
tell that story.
Brian can't weed through all the calls.
He had a girl.
Right.
I got a story. I got to tell a quick story because it reminded me of it. This one.
You had a F-16s over your shoulder?
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
Pretty much. I'm up at Lake Yeary fishing, practicing for an upcoming Bassmaster tournament. I don't remember which, but I'm targeting largemouth out on the Toledo area. And I come out of the Detroit River and I start running south. I'm looking for bank habitat. I'm looking for discharges, anything I can find largemouth on. And I see a beautiful discharge, and it's next to a power plant. And this is after 9/11. To give you a little backup story, so everybody's a little tense. And I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing, but I see the discharge and I run right up to it and I put my trolling motor down and I start whipping cast into this discharge pipe. And as I look up, I notice that there's a guy standing there with a rifle up on the bank. Then there's 5. Then there's 20. They're all standing there. I'm at the discharge for the nuclear power plant.
Wow.
Right after 9/11, out on the lake.
Oh.
And I'm like, it just occurred to me that they're there for me.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
Sniped.
I picked up my trolling motor and I waved at him like And I ran out of there. I ran out of there as fast. I knew the Coast Guard was coming.
Yeah.
The helicopters were coming. I buried myself up one of those mazes of canals and like just got real quiet and still next to one of the boat
got real
docks.
quiet.
And just I figured I was just gonna let this blow over.
Wow.
That's a good one. That might be better than the other one. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
It's a tough call.
I activated the whole security system for the nuclear power plant.
The pilot, right? How many dumb things have we all done trying to impress Poon? You know, like he's up there with a plane flying through air. Come on, dude.
Hormones take precedence over intelligence.
My God,
at
man.
that point. Yeah, they take over. We got a caller, Brian.
Yes.
Okay, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's your near-death story?
What's up, guys? It's Mike Thermal. What's going on?
How you doing,
Hey, man?
I'm good, man.
What's your story?
Hey,
What do
so,
you got a good story for us?
Yeah, I don't know if I can beat Pete because 3 cars doing a 360 with boats attached is kind of crazy. But I'll give it a shot. 2007, I'm working in Pine Brook up in North Jersey, and I'm on Route 46, and it's 4 lanes of traffic. The right-hand lane is basically a go to a jug handle lane. The other 3 are straight through. There's no left-hand turn. We're at a major intersection. There's tractor trailers in the left-hand lane, which really should never be. And they're blocking basically everything going up to the light. So you can't see what's coming across traffic. Light's green. I'm coming down a hill a little bit. There's all of a sudden nobody in front of me, and I got a clear lane. So I go basically up to right where the speed limit is, and I'm going through the light. As I pass in front of the tractor trailers, which are no longer moving, to my left, I look, and out of the corner of my eye, I see an ambulance with no lights, doing about 45 miles an hour, and got 100% T-boned.
Oh.
100, like straight up perfect. There was basically an imprint of the front of the ambulance on the side of the car. Takes my driver's seat, pushes it up over onto the passenger seat, so I'm basically sitting on the right side of the car. I'm awake for the entire thing. And like Pete said, everything in the car floats. I have no idea how, but you 100% get that matrix motion. Like, weird. I saw every piece of glass shatter and then slowly kind of go through the air and, come at me, but not fast. Everything was completely slow.
Wow.
And I got spun basically into the other lane, spun the car around 3 or 4 times. No broken ribs, I got a little piece of glass in my arm somehow, but the whole time that the car was coming or the ambulance was coming, I literally was out of my body and could see the whole entire situation of okay, you have an ambulance coming, you have time to basically either die or not die. There's nothing you can do at that point. You can't hit the brakes, you can't go any faster, you can't turn the car away from it. It's a split-second situation where you're either gonna die or you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
What happened?
I got a fishing related one too. Last year, me and our buddy Dave Snedeker, shouts to Rivers of Ash Dave, went to Round Valley. I dropped my glasses over the side of the boat. I get the bright idea. We're in 15 foot of water. I can make it. I can get down there. I get right to basically where the bottom of the water is at 15 foot and can't move. Couldn't breathe. Move? Obviously, I'm underwater. Yeah, I couldn't swim any farther. I could not go any deeper. And I couldn't touch down on the bottom. I was just inches from being able to touch down on the bottom, so I couldn't kick myself back up. Luckily, I kind of, doggy paddled my way back up to the surface real quick, but I thought for sure I was gone. I was 100% sure I was not coming back from that.
Wow. Wow. They're both good ones. I don't know which one's worse. I don't know. Well, at least when the ambulance T-boned you, you didn't have far to go to get some medical assistance.
So to put some context.
Well, no, that's the freaking worst part. They were off duty, coming back from lunch from another town, so they weren't even the ambulance that could service me.
Oh. Pete had that same thing happen to him with prostitutes. They were off duty. They couldn't service them.
Thank goodness.
Hey, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
So, listen, this whole floating thing, this whole everything slowing down, there's actually a physiological explanation for that, and it's called vascular constriction.
What?
Yeah, listen. So
really?
Yeah, sure. It's a common thing. Everybody says it's unique. It's a brain thing. Your brain slows down. But yeah, go ahead.
So what happens is, and they assume that this occurred when we were evolving. That you know how when you're ready to fight, your hands are shaking, or if you're in a bathtub for a long time, or you're in a pool for a long time, and your finger and feet get wrinkled.
Yeah.
It's because all the blood is leaving your extremities and focusing around your organs, so that when you're in battle, your extremities are going to take shots and wounds, and you're not going to lose as much blood.
Yeah.
Well, what happens with that is your senses. Some people hear better. Most people see, and everything goes slow. You always hear people say it. Everything got slow, and things become larger.
Yeah.
Like every single robbery victim, the gun's a massive gun, and it's because of this vascular constriction.
Wow.
And yeah, it's an amazing thing that our brain does, and they assume that it came from, when we used to have to fight for our food and shit like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you can simulate it. They simulate it with drugs and things like that. That's how you catch a bullet,
Wow.
Everything slows down.
Yeah. Nip it out of the air.
Right.
Shoot.
Sure.
Yeah, man. You can amazing shit happens under that.
Well, it's funny. There's for both stories. The one that I told, one that both had that same experience.
Both said the same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your near-death experience?
Hello.
Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is that kid, 4-5, man. Joey, Charlotte, North Carolina. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing, Charlotte? What's your near-death experience?
Well, I was up in the back of the creek, Lake Norman fishing. It was real cold. Water was in the upper 40s, cresting into the 50s later on in the day. I had me a nice little causeway back there. It was all concrete, so I knew if I come back out there in full sun, it's going to warm that rock up. And all I got to do is drag this shaky head down the side of this rock. So I'm out there, I'm wearing them out. I'm not eating, I'm not drinking properly, I'm not doing so. I've got this 32-ounce monster. I've got this freaking 5-gallon bucket of energy drink with me. So I'm like, man, I got to get the fish in. I catch. So I popped the top on it and I just chugged. I downed that thing in probably 15 minutes. You're just wearing them out. One of those magical days on the water where you're catching 30, 40 fish.
Yeah.
And they were all, I'm telling you, they were 2 to 3 pound magnum enormous pots. They're getting big because of the blueback. I'm telling you, they're getting huge. Turn it into Hartwell. But anyway, I downed this drink, man, and I pounded it. And so I'm just fishing. All of a sudden, my vision gets real fuzzy. Like I said, the water's in the 40s. I have no life jacket on. There's nothing. So I turn around. I feel like I'm going to hurl. So I turn around, I'm walking down into the bottom of the boat, and before I got down, I just passed out. Boom. Face first, right into the back deck of the boat, man. And if I would have fell off either side, I would have been incapacitated for 30 seconds. The wind was blowing real hard, so I wasn't far off the spot when I regained consciousness. But it was scary enough that I could have fell out of that boat, man. In that cold water, wind would have blew the boat away from me. Woo. Yeah. That would have been it, Ike.
That would have been it.
Man.
No, yeah, you would have been toast. And that in that cold water in that scenario, you wouldn't have lasted long at all. So what was the cause of you passing out?
You drank something. I couldn't quite hear what you drank.
Energy drink. I had a huge energy drink, and I was out red-eye. I was red-eye bad, man. I had drank hungover, had nothing on my stomach. So it's a good life lesson to everybody out there that you should have something on your stomach. Energy drinks aren't bad, but in moderation. Don't go out there with a completely empty stomach, pound a 5-gallon bucket of energy drink, and expect to be okay. But man, you could.
Wow, that's a great story. That's a really cool near-death story. And we happen to have the energy drink king himself in the room tonight.
Yeah, Nos, baby. I have my own. I posted about it before. I have my own special concoction, and actually my girlfriend's daughter, Sophia, when I go over there, whatever, she calls it the Breakfast of Champions.
Breakfast of Champions.
It's about 25
it's okay in moderation.
Nos energy drink, which has L-theanine, which stimulates the brain. Yeah, it makes you fuzz all day, man.
Wow.
You can read whole books, things like that.
Wow.
Took me 20 years of various trials and tribulations, but yeah, it's a good. I should market it, but I don't.
Wow, that's a caller. Thank you for that call.
Mike,
that was a great story. Appreciate it.
Let's give him let's let Dave Give him another question.
Oh, consolation?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to do a consolation call?
Caller, you want to try a consolation prize?
Sure, let's go at it.
All right, scenario situations involving either what would Ike do, what would Pete do, and newly introduced, what would Brian, the producer, do?
Oh, no.
Oh, Lord, there's nothing he wouldn't do. I'm worried about this. Okay, shoot.
Pick one, Joe.
Who do you want to go for? Pete, me, or Brian?
Let's go for the Carpenter.
No,
Yeah!
I knew it.
Yeah, Brian the Carpenter. Yes, good choice. Okay, Dave, what do we got?
I'm looking through the notes of the IM suggestions that were submitted. Hang on.
I'm very nervous.
Very, very nervous.
Okay, caller. Scenario situation. You are in Jensen Beach, Florida.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're in Jensen Beach, Florida, circa 1996.
Okay.
And you're highly inebriated. And you're at this outdoor event in Jensen Beach called Jammin' at Jensen. And it's an outdoor festival. And it's the end of the night, and you're there with one of your friends, and a police officer approaches you. And he says to you, it's time for you to go home. Party's over. Did Brian the Carpenter A, say, okay, sir, thank you for keeping us safe, and leave? Or did he B, try to be funny and say, but do we really have to go home? And then when the police officer repeated himself, he said, but do we really have to go home? Then forcing the police officer to smack the beer out of his hand with his flashlight and put him in handcuffs.
It's definitely option B. Any chance he gets to bust somebody's balls, he's taking it. He's taking it. It's option B.
Brian?
He's doing the ladder.
Brian the Carpenter, we need a confirmation.
Yes, it's option B.
Option B! Correct! Wow! Our first prize of the night.
It's screw that cop.
Screw that cop.
Hey,
he was out of line.
He was out of line.
The good news is Brian didn't do any long-term time in jail, and
about 10 minutes on the curb.
I got him out of the handcuffs in about 5 minutes, dude.
And on top of that, because you selected the right answer, you win the Tackle Warehouse gift pack tonight, which is a hat, a sticker, a koozie, and a $25 gift card for Tackle Warehouse. Awesome.
Stay on the line.
Yeah, stay on the line. We're going to get your information, and you'll get that in the mail. Thank you, caller.
Hey, Ike.
Yeah.
Where is the weirdest place you've tied the knot?
Weirdest place you've tied the knot?
Say that again?
Where is the weirdest place you've tied Pete's knot?
Pete's knot.
Tied the knot.
No, Pete's knot.
Oh, Pete's knot. I tied Pete's knot one time up at
It's only 10:15, remember?
Delilah's. What's the strip joint on 130?
Cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders. I tied Pete's knot in cheerleaders one
Dave
time.
knew immediately.
It was a long time ago, though. All right, let's move on. Caller, stay on the line. We're gonna get your information.
Yeah, we had a ghost show up on IM.
Ghost?
Dan Roman making suggestions.
Oh, Dan Roman! Oh, Dan Roman on IM.
I hooked up with him recently.
Really?
Well, yeah. I was creeping his Facebook. I was like I do everybody.
Yeah.
Read everything. Look at it. So I was looking at him. He works for CVS. He's in security.
Yeah.
And my cousin, who works in Massachusetts, works for CVS and is the regional manager.
Yeah.
So I asked him. I said, Dan Roman? He's like, yeah, I'm his boss.
Wow.
Small world, huh?
It is a small world.
Everything's connected.
It's funny that Dan's listening and you mentioned Dan's name because me and Brian on the ride back were talking the other day and somehow his name came up. And the interesting thing is the picture of you and I and Dan Roman and Pellegrinus and McGraw.
Yeah.
We're all huddled in a cone head.
Yeah.
Chuck
absolutely.
Garrity took the picture. He's laid down on the ground, took the
that
picture
was
up.
it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the picture's in my
Hey,
book.
Pete, they digress to
I
high
know, but
school
wait a
again.
minute,
high
yeah.
school.
But wait a
yeah.
minute, this gets good. So the picture's in the book, and there's the picture there. It's the same picture. It's beautiful. It's color. You see everybody's face, and everybody's names there. Mike Iaconelli, Mike Richardson, Steve Pellegrino, John McGraw, and all the names are right. And then the last name, when it goes, it's
Don Reunion.
He looks like Don Reunion, right? Yeah, that's
Don
great. That's
Reunion.
That's
It's as close as they can get.
They couldn't get it right.
No.
The only Puerto Rican kid in the graduating class of 1990, they totally gave him a Caucasian name,
is
dude.
that fantastic?
Don
Oh, my
Reunion.
God.
It's not even close.
No.
Don Reunion.
I had a lot of good memories with Dan, man.
Oh my God, Don Reunion. All right, let's continue. I want to continue on with the near-death stories. Mike, I want to hear from you.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear yours.
Which one do you want to hear?
Give us a good one, or give us several.
All right,
start with a good one.
I'll start with a good one. This is a good one. Some of them I can't really share, but so I was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, living there. I don't know if you ever been there.
Yeah, Harrisburg. Yeah,
it's worse. The place I was living in, that's a whole backstory we won't get to, but it's worse than Kansas.
Okay.
Right? So
yeah.
You've seen Fight Club.
Oh yeah.
That was basically my house.
Okay.
Right? Living alone. I used to do my clothes in the sink. No TV, no radio, no internet, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had.
I'm surprised you were living alone.
Yeah, man. My dog, who got lost, and that's a whole backstory. so just to give you, I don't want to go into the whole context. Just to give you a 2-minute context. You ever have one of those days where it's just so bad, you wake up the next day and it just doesn't matter, man. Nothing's gonna stop. You're just that angry. So
yeah,
I had one of those days, didn't sleep much. Woke up the next morning and I'm rushing for work. I was running late. I put my suit on and I grabbed my belt. So I run out the door, get in my car, and it was one of these things. I think I stopped. I stopped at like a gas station, got out. Next thing I know, and this is not an easy area. This is bad. I've been jumped like 2 or 3 times, got some teeth knocked out, all that good stuff. And a guy pushed me out of the seat and carjacked me. Right. So
wow.
yeah. So he's sitting there. I'm like, what's up? And I'm kind of dazed. He punched me a couple times, and he said, get out of the effing car. And like I said, it's one of these days. I said, dude, any other day you picked the wrong fucking day.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Right. Gun, knife. I'm not getting out of the car. So he starts pressing the gas, and in Harrisburg, it's like a highway, and then it has these little things where you go down to the next street. So he's going about 90, 100, right? And I'm like you said, I'm in the passenger seat. There are no air brakes, man. And I'm like, I thought I was in a movie. Talk about everything slowing down, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do, and he's like, "You going to get out yet?" I'm like, "Not even close," So he pulls down to the next road. Puts on the brakes. I probably could have got out then. I probably should have. Looking back on it, right? Hindsight. So he goes down to the next street, pulls down. He's going about 50. There's a lane of traffic, and then nowhere to go to the left, really. It's up a hill, and then there's a construction site with all the cones and shit.
Yeah.
So I had my belt next to me. So I'm going crazy. I'm like, holy shit. So I come to, and we're going about 40 miles an hour, and I just, bam, man, right in the nose. There's blood all over the windshield, man. I cracked his nose. So I grabbed my belt, and I kind of just real quick put it around, like over his neck and into the steering wheel and just pulled, man. He smashed the steering wheel.
Oh my God.
I'm going about 50 miles an hour. I open the side. It's not even close, man. So I open. This isn't my near death. So I open. I'm kind of open the side door. It's going open. The construction guys are there. I jump out of the car, land on the construction site, smash through a bunch of those little red things and the cones. I'm sliding across the street. My suit's demolished, man. It's ripped. I fractured a bunch of ribs. I'm bleeding all over the place. I'm puking because of the adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
I get up. So I get up, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? He veers left and smashes into something. I keep going. I go to one of the, the highway things, the metal, the metal rail. I'm puking over the sides, right? And I'm like, holy shit. And all I'm thinking about is how I'm going to get to work, man, which I'm about a quarter mile from work now, right? I'm going to be late. And, so
oh my God.
And it wasn't a big deal. I was a contract. I mean, you could be late, but still, I had some shit to do, And it's the last thing I need. Next thing I know, man, get on the fucking ground. And I'm like, I'm looking around. Like, is someone else here? I turn around, there's a gun right at my head, man. Before I knew it, within about 10 minutes, there were about 8 plainclothes guys. Had me on the ground in cuffs. There's a police helicopter circling above, man.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm bleeding. I'm like, I'm freaking out, right? And the cop's like, this dude's on drugs. He's all amped up. I'm like, well, no shit, man. You know, it's not an everyday experience. You have to jump out of a moving car, right? And plus, I had like 3 or 4 Red Bulls. In the morning, you know, my normal energy drink.
Yeah.
So I'm freaking out. They got all the guns on my head. So long story short, man, I sat there for a while. They checked my credentials. Bam, bam, bam. They let me go, and all was good. And then I walked to work.
Oh my God!
With fractured ribs,
yeah, with fractured ribs,
and the suit all ripped
and the
up.
suit torn up, holes all over it, man.
Oh
My head, I'm
my
bleeding.
God.
I got facial, you know. So then I went there, like, what the fuck happened to you, man? I was like, don't worry. So then I did go home and went to one of those, what do you call them, the urgent cares on the side of the road, one of those things. Got some X-rays, stuff like that.
That is that is unbelievable. That's like movie stuff.
That was
going
fun.
on right
I felt
there.
like I was in a movie, but nothing ever slowed down, man.
I can't even tell my story now. After hearing these,
Cool.
I am like at the bottom of the list. We're going to skip.
Let's wait till we get a couple bad callers, and then we'll tell our
maybe
story.
maybe we need a couple bad callers. Brian, what do we got? We got a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you call from?
This is Ryan. I'm calling from Vermont.
Hi, Brian from Vermont. What is your near-death experience story?
Well, I might as well hang up because there's no damn way I'm going to top that one.
We still want to hear it. We still want to hear it.
Anyway, so I used to be an arborist. I used to clear power lines for a living. So I went out to clear a power line. We had to four-wheeler back like 3 miles. And then, so basically all it is you climb a tree, you top it out, and then you can cut it down so it doesn't ever hit the power lines or cause any outages or anything. So we were going through, and we were about halfway through the day, and I climbed this tree, and I used to be pretty good. I would shimmy right up them, cut all the limbs all the way up, top the tree out, and that was it. So I get to this huge pine tree. I start cutting the limbs out, and I'm about 80 feet. Well, it was like 75 feet, I guess, because after. But long story short, so I cut all the limbs up, and there's like a buck strap that you wrap around the tree to pretty much hold you up there. So I get to the top to get ready to top it out, and I swing my buck strap up over to catch the little nub, because every limb you cut, you just leave a little nub so you can hang your buck strap on there. So I flip my buck strap up to go sit there and top the tree out. So I flip it up, I lean back, and that was it. The buck strap broke in half. I fell to 75 feet down, and I didn't remember anything after that, but I broke my back. My right femur came shooting out through my leg. I broke my hip. I had to get hell-backed out of there. But long story short, out of all of that, I was 6.5 months in the hospital. I couldn't walk that entire time. The one good thing is I got a lawsuit out of because my buck strap, it broke, and it wasn't anybody's fault, but the buck strap. That's how I bought my very first bass boat, with that money that I got the lawsuit from.
Wow.
It was pretty damn crazy, though.
That's crazy. That's a hell of a story. That's a big fall.
That
75 feet.
That femur thing.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I never thought I was going to walk another day in my life. But
wow.
I like how he said it wasn't anyone's fault but the buck strap.
Right?
Yeah, it was the buck strap's fault.
Oh, man.
Well, I'll tell you that the interesting, the nice thing about it though is that it was a bad scenario. It was near death. You got through it, but the light at the end of that tunnel was the boat.
Oh yeah, I bought the very first boat.
I know a lot of people that might throw themselves out of a tree to get their first bass boat.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend
that.
I got to tell you, that was actually, I'm glad you told that story, because I believe that was one of the better stories we've heard tonight. And because none of our cast here in the studio can win a prize, I think that's prize worthy. Brian Carpenter, what do you think?
Sweet.
I think that's prize-worthy.
Absolutely.
We're going to give you one of the better prizes here tonight. We're going to give you we've got a red Toyota fishing cap. We'll get that signed for you. Hang on the line.
But Mike, what if he's got a Dodge?
Well, if you got a Dodge, you can
but it's going to
pull
be
that
signed.
off.
It's going to be signed, so he's not going to
It's
wear it
gonna be
anyway.
signed, yeah, and you can put it on eBay to sell for like $250 on eBay.
Yeah.
So, hang on, Brian the Carpenter's going to get your information. Thank you for the story, man. That's
Thanks,
scary.
guys.
Yeah, the femur thing is I would just
that's
I don't
not
even know
unheard
what.
of. It's probably
yeah.
so much pain you don't even.
Yeah.
You're kind of out of it.
It's frightening being up there at heights.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Dude, I worked with a guy. I forget I don't know how many stories the Northgate Northgate projects are in Camden, but they're up there. They're right before you go over the Ben Franklin Bridge. There are those high rises to the right.
Okay.
He had no problem walking up to the edge and having his feet right on the edge and look down. People are like the size of a fingernail, dude.
Yeah.
I had to like crawl on my belly and like stick my face over, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
These guys are up there hacking trees down 100 feet up, dude.
Yeah. I'm not good with heights.
Guys working on the Ben Franklin Bridge right now, and all those bridges there, or the Delaware Memorial at the top of it. I mean, that's like 200 feet above the road.
Yeah.
You know, that's 200 feet above the water. I mean, that's way up there.
If you want to see something cool, Google images of people building the Empire State Building.
I was just going to mention the Empire State Building.
Guys like us sitting on a beam with their metal pails, just eating like a ham sandwich with no straps or nothing, dude.
And they were all drinking the night before.
Feet dangling, dude, like 40, 50 stories up, man.
How many bid it? I'd like to know how many bid it.
Every once in a while one of them fall.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen was it CSI New York? You know, with I can't remember the guy's name, but they had to get evidence on top of the Empire State Building. So they got these straps and wrapped and we're hanging on, walking around, and they were showing, man, I every once in a while I have a dream and I wake up sweating, I'm on the top and I'm like,
that's
not cool.
I can't stand heights. Rebecca, what do we got coming through on the IMs? We got any good comments, good feedback?
I've got one for you.
What do you got?
This is I believe this is Bass Daddy.
Bass Daddy.
He says, fishing a tournament in the Florida Everglades. Bear with me because sometimes punctuation's not great, so I have to.
Okay.
My partner Joe Rice, fishing from the front of his storm, sees this 10-foot alligator on the bank. Nice. So he starts making this alligator call. I'm from Jersey. I say, what are you doing? He says, it's a mating call for alligators. The next thing you know, this alligator is swimming right for me. A few minutes later, he's right behind the motor. A few minutes later, he's right up alongside the motor with his mouth open. So I put down my fishing rod, turn toward the alligator, and I pretend I'm going to jump on him. Well, as soon as I make the move, this 10-foot alligator comes at me with his mouth wide open. I turn to the front of the boat. My buddy Joe is so wide that there's no way I can go straight. So I jump to the left. My foot lands on the side of the boat. Then I jump to the front of the boat, and now I have nowhere to go. All I could see is my name in the local news. Angler loses head while fishing the King of Glades tournament.
Wow. That's a spooky one.
That's the end of the story. I want to know what happens.
Apparently he's still around. Apparently he's still around. That's a spooky one. I didn't know there was a gator mating call.
Dude, they grunt. They grunt.
Do they grunt?
Yeah.
Go ahead, give it to me, Dave. What's your closest imitation of a gator mating call? Go ahead, go.
It is. It's like
Is it?
That's great.
You sure it's not more like definitely not like that.
Take it. It's more like that.
Take it. Now you know what I'm imagining when she was reading that story is what's the movie with the golfers and the is it Happy Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, and the coach.
Paulo Creed.
Paulo.
Yeah.
Got the hand.
Carl
missing.
Weathers. One of the best mustaches in Hollywood, dude. You know what I mean?
His hand gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
I have an alligator story.
You do?
Near death story.
Did you lose your penis to an alligator?
No.
Okay. It's not as excited.
We can go ahead. If somebody has that story.
Well, let's hear it. I want to hear it now. But it's not related to your penis.
I was, from Jersey, right? Not a lot of experience with alligators, and there's a few places like Lake Eufaula that has these giants. Gators.
Giants.
And I was down at Okeechobee, which also has some big ones, and I'm going down looking for spawning fish back in these canals, and if anybody's if anybody sight fished for bass, and a lot of people watching this show probably have, you got your nose down, looking down, looking down, looking
you're
down. Scanning. I'm snaking through this wily canal that's starting out relatively wide. It's getting narrower and narrower. And I know when I get to the back of this little runoff, there's going to be a 10-pounder, a set of them back here. And the water's crystal clear. I could see, 3-4 feet to the bottom. And I'm going through this canal system. And as I get to the end of it, it necks down and then opens back up. And now it's only about as wide as my boat is long. And as I come through this little neck, I know that's where they're going to be spawning. And I get in there and they're not. My boat's going 100 miles an hour. I got trolling motors on high. I kick it to the left because I'm going to try to negotiate a turnaround. And as I start to move the boat motor to the left, I finally look up. I am toe to toe, nose to nose with one of the biggest alligators I have ever seen, and I've seen giants.
On the bank or in the water?
He's laying on the bank.
Wow.
I can touch him with my fishing rod.
Wow.
And I've turned the boat sideways, and the motor's on, and the motor gets stuck in the alligator grass.
Of course.
I'm stuck. I can hear him breathing.
Yeah.
I can hear the gator's breath.
It's like a scary movie where, everybody's falling, the zombies are coming.
So I am froze for a second. I did not know what to do. I'm like, if I move, he's going to eat me.
Oh my
it's
God.
like and I didn't know what to do, and I'm like, I stood there for 10 seconds, and I'm like, well, I can't just sit here and be eaten. I at least have to try to escape. So I pulled the cord on the trolling motor. I'll know the move in shallow water, right? You lift the motor just high enough that it's out of the vegetation, but when you hit that button, it's going to make a hell of a racket.
Jesus.
And then he's going to eat me. So because he's going to attack where the noise is coming from. So I hit it, and it went brrr, and you heard it. It sounded like a tornado. Whoosh, whoosh. It must have been 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds. I don't know how much they weigh. Huge, just totally going right through the swamp, and I'm like afraid to look. I'm hiding behind my pro pole.
Wow.
Right, that's my defense. He came right up to my boat, hit it, and went underneath my boat.
Wow.
And swam out.
Wow.
At that moment, I took all my clothes off. I drove into the middle of the lake, and I I was like freaked out, man.
You mean you were naked?
I just was like, I was freaking, man. I thought I died.
Wow.
I was scared to death.
Did at any point when that happened, did you do the call that Dave just did? Try it again, Dave. Do it real quick again. At no point did you do that.
No.
Okay.
Dude, I saw one. I saw one on Okeechobee. It was like every bit of 4, and it was just so wide, dude. I couldn't. But
there's some giants.
And when it, I was far enough away, but when it hit the water, the hole it created was like a bomb, like just with its tail. It was amazing, the power.
Like you said, they're about 1,000 pounds. 800, 1,000 pounds.
Big one.
Yeah. That's not.
Scary to death,
right?
that
That's
close.
not a joke.
Crazy near-death stories. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Michael from Oklahoma.
Hi, Michael. What is your near-death experience story?
Well, first off, I want to say that, Dave, I think that may be the Bigfoot mating call. From Oklahoma, that's kind of what we're all about, the Bigfoot.
Yeah. I think you're right. Didn't sound like a gator to me. It sounded more like Bigfoot.
But no, I just wanted to call in and tell a story about my dad. I was fishing. He fell out of the boat when I was fishing the Big Bass Oakley tournament a couple years ago, and we started out and actually ended up winning the tournament, but won a boat and all. But out of the whole deal, I still look back on it all, thinking my dad flew out of the boat. We was leaving the spot, and he was just laid back with his feet out in the middle of the boat. And I told him, I said, "Man, put your feet under that console." He's like, "I'll be fine." I said, "Dude, you're gonna fly out of the boat." He's like, "I'll be fine." So I take off, get going. I'm not hammered down by no means. I'm probably only running 50. And so I'm trimming down, turning into this little cove. Next thing I know is there's like slack in my power steering. I just bought this boat too. It was like maybe a year old. Next thing I know, since that went slack, man, he just do like a 180, and he flies out, hits me. I'm hitting the side of the cap of the boat. My new Oakley glasses just flew off my head. I mean, I feel like I got a broken rib. I'm sitting here in pain. I'm looking around like, where in the hell is my dad? And I just hear him, he's like, I can't swim. I said, you gotta swim. I can't get to you. So I'm trying to throw it in reverse because I'm thinking I gotta go back and get him. I didn't want to, hit him with the prop or nothing. So I tried to throw down the trolling motor, and for the life, I had to get the fishing net, to get out there and grab him. But he couldn't swim for nothing. But it about scared the heck out of me. Something like that. I look back on it now. The tournament like that, winning a boat, as an amateur like that, and now it's. Stuck with that in my mind, about killed my dad. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was scary at the least because he's had back surgery and everything, and he couldn't swim for nothing.
That's scary.
But,
it's even scarier because it wasn't you; it was your father. So it had to be even scarier. Right.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
so what did the steering cable break on the?
To me, it felt like there was almost like air in like the steering cable or something. There was just slacking. I wasn't running wide open, and when I trimmed down just a little bit, just because I have a Skeeter and they tend to kind of porpoise a little bit when you're slowing down. So I was trimming it down just a little bit. When I turned in to this little pocket, it just like it went limp, and it did immediately turn to the left and just spun out, and it just flew him. All I know is he just whacked the hell out of me, and he was laying in the water about, a good 20, 30 feet from me. And luckily he had one of those, inflatable, life jackets. And, man, they do work. A lot of people question that, but they do. They work. I'm a believer in them for sure. But
shout out to Mustang.
Shout out to Mustang inflatable vest.
That's
wow.
it.
What a great story. I'm glad your father was okay, and then you guys went on to win the tournament. So it worked out.
Yep.
Great story.
Man,
Caller, thank you very much for the call.
Hey, keep it up, guys.
Do you want to? By the way, caller, do you want to do a bonus round?
Oh man, yeah. Let's do that.
All right, Dave, aka Fatty, what do you got?
Caller, do you want to do
Fatty?
Pete, Mike, or Brian?
Man, let's go with that Pete's Knot.
Yeah, Pete's Knot, everybody.
What would Pete's Knot do?
Okay,
let's see.
What do we got, Dave? What do we got for Pete's Knot?
Oh, good lord.
Pete's Knot.
All right. Okay, caller. Multiple choice question involving Pete and his sleep habits.
Oh
man!
Wow.
When Pete Glusek is on tour and he's in a deep sleep and he's talking out loud like he usually does he A? Does he A? Talk dirty to imaginary women in his dream, or does he B? Curse other anglers for taking his spots aloud?
Oh gosh, dude, that's a hard choice. That almost sounds like is there a C where it's both answers?
No,
none of the above.
Dang.
What are the options?
Go A.
Do you want me to read you the options again?
No, I'm going with A. I think he's doing that.
Are you A, talking dirty to imaginary women?
Dude, I'm asleep.
All right, well, we have eyewitness testimony that contradicts your answer, caller, and it is, in fact, B. He curses other anglers.
He curses other anglers in his sleep. Wow.
Testimony provided to us by Dave Mansu.
Wow. Officer Mansu. And he can't lie because he's a police officer.
Sworn.
He's sworn
Nice.
by the Justice of Brotherhood of Police not to lie.
Well,
those
guys probably deserve it.
Man.
That's funny.
Hey, caller,
was Pete fishing? Hey, was Pete fishing with a fever though?
He's obviously a listener of the show.
Wow.
It's got to be. So
Caller, thanks for the call, man. Good
wrong
comment, too, at the end. Appreciate it.
Yep. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. Man,
right.
wow, that was some good dirt, Pete.
Yeah.
Somebody's doing some digging here,
Come
man.
on, Mansu.
What
You're
the
my boy.
heck? Wow.
Throwing me under the bus.
All right.
Dave's up to no good. He's always doing the research.
Wow, that's a lot.
These are all submitted by IM people. These aren't me. I got to have some plausible deniability to some of this stuff.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Crazy. What do you got
stuff,
back
Dave.
there, Beck? I
All
see
right,
you looking.
well, here's one that I think everyone's scared of having happen to them on the water. So, Howie says, while fishing a club tournament...
Howie?
Howie.
Big Howie or regular Howie?
Just says Howie. While
Okay.
fishing a club tournament during a light rain, I started to feel my hair standing on edge, and then my arm that was holding the fishing rod started to shake/quiver. I got a funny feeling throughout my body. I dropped the rod on the deck of the boat. No sooner I did that, a bolt of lightning shot across the area I was fishing. Friends of mine found me lying on the deck of the boat. They thought I was dead. I was in bewilderment on where I was, freaked out.
Wow. A lightning story. I knew we were going to have a couple of those. We've all had instances happen out there like that. That sounds like a really close call. I've never had that, but I've had some weird shit happen to me on the water.
I've never gotten hit, never passed out. Have you?
I've never got hit and never passed out because of lightning. But I've heard those stories before, where people wake up, they don't know where they're at. They're on the back deck, the front deck.
Their ass hurts.
Dude, I heard two. I've heard two stories from Kelly Jordan. Kelly Jordan spent a lot of time guiding on Fork over the years, or before his career. And he had two death stories of lightning. And the one was two guys out fishing, and they didn't return home. The next day, they have a search party out there for them on Fork. Fork's a big lake, so they're looking all around. Finally, they go up and they see the boat. And the boat is just up into the reeds or up into the bank. And the two guys are sitting there in both the seats, and they go up, put the troll motor down, go up. They're both stone cold dead. Guys, I mean, just like they're, one guy still has his hands on the steering wheel. The other guy's just has his head down.
Shit.
And the back pro pole, they had the pro pole in the back seat. The leather on the top of the seats disintegrated, and there's black char marks with spider marks all down. So a bolt of lightning hit as they were running, killed them both, and they just went right up on the back.
That's horrible. That's horrible to hear that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm scared to death that's going to happen to me or one of the other anglers. Because we're put out there in those tournament scenarios, and I've been caught in so many close calls and lightning storms.
Yeah.
Man, it scares me to death.
Scary. It's scary. Brian the Carpenter, do you have any? Do you want to share a near-death experience? Do you have anything with a nail gun? You almost shot yourself with a nail gun, or?
Why'd you take yourself off? He asked you a question and you took your face away.
Dare you? Or you had a feisty customer in Cherry Hill, and you wanted to cement them into the ground.
I got nothing good. We got callers on the line.
Okay.
You don't want to hear from me.
Okay. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mike from Browningsville, PA. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Mike, how you doing tonight? What's your you got a near-death experience story for us?
Yeah, actually, I got tons, but I figured I'd keep it in the bass fishing tonight since it's like live and everything.
All right.
We go on like this yearly trip to Maine. We try and keep it kayak only. We portage into like these glacier lakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Clean up on smallmouth and largemouth. One night we were looking at like a gazetter, like a field map, and we see a landlocked pond, a nice sized pond it's landlocked by a couple miles of river each way. So we find the closest road to get to this thing. We go, we paddle there, we clean up all day. I was cursing myself because I brought this Carlisle Day Tripper paddle. It's aluminum handle paddle. If you guys ever, they're okay. They're kind of piss poor for fishing all day long. I was beside myself for not bringing a good paddle. But on the way back, I decided to beat everybody on the way back. It's where we parked. There was a bridge embankment and a big aqua pipe going in. And we kind of stirred it up with the launch. There was like 6 of us, so I figured we blew the fish out. But I wanted to beat everybody back to get the fish there to myself. So I paddled with the current, beat everybody by a couple minutes, caught a couple nice smallmouth on the bridge. While I'm waiting for everybody to come back to help load up, I just see this aqua pipe with tons of water pouring through it. I said, well, what else would you do with a kayak besides try and drive through it, right? And there was minimal clearance, because there's a good amount of water funneling through like a 4-foot pipe. This river was, probably 20-some feet wide before the pipe. So I get in, I get a good enough speed, get into the pipe. About halfway through the pipe, it's a whole road length. My freaking paddle gets caught. It's one of those corrugated pipes, like those big black ones. My paddle gets stopped, and I stop dead because my chest is now resting against the paddle. And I'm kind of panicking, like, oh shit, I'm stuck in this pipe, and there is nobody around.
Well, I shimmied too much, and I was in a Pungo Classic, which is a sit-in, and it started taking on water. This is at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, the whole pipe, me filling up with water in the kayak, there was a good hydrofoil at the end. I figured it was the end for me. The aluminum shaft kayak paddle buckles and sets me free through the friggin' tube. It was like somebody shined a light down on me and said, you were cursing this paddle all day. It's going to save your life. I still have the paddle. It's like an aluminum hollow tube, and the one side from my weight of the boat and the water leaning against it totally broke it, and it folded and let me through the pipe.
Mike, do not get rid of that paddle. Save that paddle the rest of your life. Rub that paddle every time you go to the casinos. Rub on that paddle.
Rub the paddle. I do. It's still in my shed next to my two other, good carbon fiber ones that I use. Totally broken, but I save it as a reminder of stupidity and luck.
That's a scary story, and I can relate to it because when you first started saying like, man, I was thinking like, why the hell would you try to shoot, get through, shoot through? But I could see myself in my younger days doing something like that.
This was like 5 years ago. I mean, I turned 30 last week, so I was in my mid-20s, and I was away from the wife and with the uncles having fun, and I was waiting on everybody. I'm like, what do you do? Wow. There was this giant pipe with water funneling through it, and it was just a man thing.
It was calling your name. You had to do it.
You have to go through that pipe right now. I had to do it. There was nothing.
Man, I tell you, that's a hell of a story. That is a prize-winning story to me. Mike, let me ask you this. Are you currently a member of Fishity?
No, I am not. I use it. I use the free ever since I took the Bass University class in Jersey.
Yeah.
It kind of caught my eye, so I've been using the free edition here and there, and from what I like, it's an awesome system. I love it.
Gotcha. Well, do me a favor. Hang on the line. Brian's going to get your information. With that amazing story, you have just won yourself the Fishity gift pack tonight.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Good story.
Hey, I love the show. I watch every week. I was bummed tonight because I couldn't watch. I came home from work all psyched to watch Ike live, and somebody called me and needed a rescue repair on their dump truck. So I flew out, and it took all night. And on my way home, I was just dialing, hoping to get in. I'm glad I got through.
Awesome story, dude.
I like it. Good story.
That's
Good story. It worked out.
And Bass University, for anybody who's listening, it's no joke. I did the New Jersey one this weekend specifically because of your tidal water class. I had the FLW James event coming up, and I fished the D here by us. I mean, I live in southeast PA, so the tidal Delaware I'm pretty familiar with, but I just wanted to take it for a more rounded approach on how to approach tidal water, and everything you said hit home. I ran through the paces of the seminar while on the water, and I don't think without it, I don't think I would have played as well as I did. I did ninth on day one, and I choked on day two, staying into James instead of running to the Chick. But I still squeaked out a top 40, and I don't think I would have done it without that class, being on the tidal water.
That's awesome to hear that.
The information you get from the Bass University classes is second to none. You guys are doing awesome.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hang on, Mike. We're going to get your information. Man, that's nice. A testimonial. That's not a paid testimonial. We didn't get him to say that.
No. Honest to God, you guys are doing great. I wish you come to the Northeast again soon so I can take another one.
That's awesome.
It's kind of paid. He didn't give us the testimony until after he received the prize.
That's right. It was kind of.
Hey, honestly, if you could, I asked Brian if you guys were still taking the taking the stories. If you weren't, I was going to ask if I could, come on and at least say that, because honestly, for the cost of what you pay to go to the weekend, you take tenfold in that knowledge if you want to.
That's awesome. Well, appreciate the call, Mike. Hang on. Brian's going to get your information. Miss Rebecca, what do you got?
Somebody posted a
Anybody?
picture.
Somebody what?
of their near-death experience.
They drew a picture or sent a picture?
No, they posted it. Look on the screen. Who's that a picture of?
Hold on, I got it.
Oh, is that me? Wow. Is that a picture of my boat up in the woods?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that was my story. I'm not even going to tell it. You see it there in the picture. I crashed a bass boat 60, 75 feet into the woods.
Jesus.
You know, it's funny. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but you know, you talk about how shit's like meant to be or whatever. When I was flying into the woods, I had no control of the boat, and I didn't point it this way. It just happened that quick. But to my left was a tree, you know, that wide. To my right was a tree that wide. Wow. And I mean, I could touch them both after we plot it down. And it's just whatever you want to call it just happened. But that was scary. That was mine. But
now wait, how did that happen? Like, were you avoiding something? Were you?
It happened so quick. I tell you, I was in a backwater slough, like, you know, a canal sorta, and I had just rounded a corner. It's going about 40 or 50 miles an hour. Rounded a corner, just about to get to a straightaway. And for all the boaters out there, and you'll know what I'm talking about, when you're running and you see something at the last minute and it's a calm spot, it identifies there's something under the surface, right? And so I round this corner and just get to the straightaway, and when I look in front of the boat, I see a calm spot that is perfectly the same length and width across the whole canal. And my instinct was to just come off the throttle, right? So I've got the wheel, I come off the throttle, and as soon as I come off the throttle, at the same exact time, I hit it. And when I hit that object, it just threw me right straight up into the woods. And it happened so quick. It was a fraction of a second. It was just a thud and an impact. And the thing I remember, the thing that I can close my eyes and vividly remember is not like a sight or a noise or a smell or a sound. It's that noise of the branches breaking. The boat crashing through branches, just that vivid in my mind. It's sickening.
See, I would have thought for you, your closest to death would have been when you got ejected from Ish's boat on the California Delta.
That was a pretty good one too. That was a pretty good one. Yeah,
you were in pretty bad shape when he got to you.
Yeah, I got ejected going 60. I hit the water so hard. By the time when he came and got me and pulled me out, you know, he pulled me out and I was shook up. And you know, can you move everything? I can move everything. I look down. I'm wiggling my toes, and my shoes and socks are completely gone. I hit the water so hard it blew my shoes and socks totally off.
Like an aircraft.
Yeah, we never found them.
Most of the shoes were found.
Yeah, shoes were gone. That was scary too. I have a lot of good scary fishing stories. Yeah, but probably the best one for me is the night I met my wife, Becky, in Las Vegas. We had a great night. We met at a club. We had a great night. We danced. We talked. We decided to go get breakfast. Super late at night. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We drive. We go to get a taxi. And the taxi, you know, we say, we want pancakes. We had this craving for pancakes. Can you take us to a pancake place? Okay, they did. We went all the way down West Side or wherever it was. We stopped. We sat down there for breakfast, and menus come out. And the first thing Becky mentioned says, "Look at that giant penis on the window of this restaurant." I thought at that moment she might have been a female killer. I was going to be like Bobbitt and lose my penis that night. But it didn't happen. Nice. We ended up getting married. So
that was a very bizarre version of that story.
Yeah.
But I did say that it looked like a little boy was riding a penis.
Right.
Because the picture was this mushroom, but it was so phallic. Like, I kept looking at it, and I was like, this guy's going to think I'm nuts. You know what I mean? Like, because I kept staring.
That's the story.
Finally, I had to tell him why I was looking at the mirror, because it didn't look like a happy little mushroom. It was this weird, long, phallic-looking mushroom, and this little boy's sitting on it. I'm like, that is so wrong. It's a pancake house.
I almost died at the pancake house in Vegas.
If we don't have a caller, I'll get to mine.
I want to hear yours now.
It.
Mine involves what our mothers told us our entire lives. about making sure you have correct underwear on when you leave the house. All right.
This is a near-death experience revolves around that?
Mine said don't run with scissors.
Dude, what?
Wow.
No, mine said make sure you don't have ripped or dirty underwear when you leave the house.
Wow.
So it is February, and I'm launching my boat at Union Lake. Water temperature is about 38
Crow
degrees.
Daddy?
No, I'm launching the Ranger.
Big one.
But I'm not launching at the cement ramp. I'm launching at
the old ramp.
I'm launching at the old ramp.
Yeah.
And the way the wind is blowing, it's blowing the way we would back our boats into the water, and it's February wind. It's blowing pretty stiff. It's the old ramp, to describe it, it's a steep ramp.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those ramps that you put your boat in the water, then unclick it. You know, I unclicked it, and my boat got off the trailer. And I'm watching it. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, shit. I'm like, I only have one pair of clothes. I hurry up and start getting my clothes off. And I strip down to just a T-shirt and my underwear. And I'm wading in the water for it. And I'm fingertipping this boat as it's blowing away, and I can't quite get to it. Now I'm at the point where I got to lose my shirt. So I take the shirt off, but the boat's now gaining more momentum away from the trailer. So I'm at the point now where I'm up to about my chest. I'm like, shit, I'm going to have to swim for this boat. I'm like, it's 3 feet from my fingers, man. So I start going for it. The minute I started, I almost stopped. Like, it was so cold and jarring. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it. And I go to touch the bottom because I'm going to walk back, which if you're in a drowning situation, never try to touch bottom, dude. Keep fighting. I go to touch bottom, and I can't touch bottom, dude. And that set me back even more. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm not going to make it. Everything's stopping. Like, the boat's this way, dude. Finally, I dug deep, dude. And every bit of fight I had left in me, I hurry up, I get the boat. I'm able to climb back into the boat. And all I could think about while I was fighting to get to the boat was that I had red tighty whities on. You know what I mean? And that if I didn't make it, that the first responders were going to be taking pictures of my dead, bloated body and wearing the underwear. Because, I mean, you know?
Look at this guy. Look at him. He's got red underoos.
I swear to God, dude. Like, you know, my
Wait,
life.
underoos or tighty whities?
But I don't know.
Well, they can't be tighty whities.
With the T-shirt and
Tighty
the pants.
Tighty reddies.
Yeah. Were they tight? Were they tight or were they?
No, they were briefs. I can't wear boxers. I got the nads of like a 90-year-old guy. I'll just sit on them all day. So I got to wear briefs. All right.
Richardson's sitting on one right now.
Yeah.
Move that leg over. I see
that
nut
dude.
over there.
So they always say, like, you know, my life flashed before my eyes. It didn't for me. The realization that I was going to die with red underwear on, dude, made me fight through it because I was not going to be the folly of some asshole's pictures.
And
man.
the exclamation point on that is you had a brown streak stain.
Yeah.
You sharted earlier in the day.
There's no sharting in that water, dude. But funny thing is, I was warm the rest of the day. Like when you get into that kind of, I don't know what happened. My body just.
So did you continue? Did you fish that day?
Yeah.
Or you did.
Dude, all my clothes were dry. I just had
Did
wet
you
underwear
have a
on.
good day?
No, it was horrible. Dude.
Horrible.
It's Union
Okay.
Lake. They should drain that thing and put a mall there, dude.
You got to go back to the gate hole.
Yeah.
You were down by the dam. You got to go to the gate hole, Dave. Gate hole.
I remember that.
What do we got? What do we got going on back there? Caller, I love it.
That's awesome.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Dylan from Santa Monica.
Hi, Dylan. You have
I got a couple stories, so I'll make them quick.
All right.
Well, the first one happened a couple weeks ago. I was fishing with my buddy, and we were fishing off the jetty, going for bass, saltwater fishing. And I hooked this bass that, you know, it was pretty big. I didn't realize how big it was, but we were sitting about 15 feet off the jetty, you know. And so I bring it over, and my line's not thick enough to bounce it that high. So I climb up, and I'm getting ready to go down onto the bottom, and it snaps off and breaks, and he was about a 7-pounder, and I about dropped dead and died.
Wow. That's a great
my other
story.
one is a real near-death story.
That's definitely a near-death story. I could see how you could pass away from that.
You know, it's not too often when I get those on my line. So
wow.
But so, anyways, my this one happened. It was the day before my 25th birthday, and I just got off work, and it was raining outside, and I'm on the corner waiting across the street to get to the bus, and the light turns green, and I take about 4 or 5 steps off the curb, and I hear this scream, you know, and it was like how you guys were talking about with slow motion. As I heard the scream, I turn around and look, and all I see are headlights coming straight at me. And in fully slow motion, and then I felt someone grab the back of my shirt and yank me, and I flew back, and the car came and it skinned me, and I was wearing dress slacks and a collared shirt, so it was like I just slid across the car, and I had my I had my umbrella in my hand, and the side mirror hit the umbrella and swung into the window, and it shattered the window, and I did a 360, landed on my feet, and the car just took off spinning, and so I was like, I turned around and thanked the person who was there, and there was nobody there, and the girl on the corner who screamed was looking at me like I was insane, like I was, possessed or something, because I flew backwards. So I don't know if it was a guardian angel or if it was what it was, or just my instincts, and I didn't know that I jumped back, but that was my near-death experience.
Wow. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, but it was fully in slow motion like you guys were talking about, you could see everything when I was spinning around. I saw the glass shatter in slow motion, and it was a trip.
That's interesting. I mean, that brings out all kinds of other subtopics. Like, was there a guardian angel there? I mean, if you believe it, some people believe in that. Maybe there was.
We all have guardian angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in it.
Wow. That's an interesting story. That's crazy. What do you got, Brian? You're looking at me.
I am.
Okay. What do you got?
Nothing.
Okay.
We haven't had that out-of-body experience.
No.
Death story that's so common that Jeff has.
That's next week.
Next week.
That's next week's show. What's your best out-of-body experience?
Yeah. You'll get plenty.
Do I get a consolation question?
Yeah, let's give him one. Dave, what do you got? Consolation question.
Pete, Ike, or Brian?
We're going to have to take Ike this time.
Yeah!
All right, let me consult the notes here. All right.
By the way, this is like my 3rd time on the show.
All right, buddy. So
it must be good when Dave's laughing. Before he makes the
He's laughing already. He hasn't asked it yet.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
it is a situation that did happen. This wasn't one of those ones that may or may not have happened. This actually did happen.
All right.
And it occurred at Mike's wedding with Becky.
Uh-oh.
Now, to paint the picture, this was a beautiful wedding set. It was set at like an old farmhouse type thing in the middle of rural Virginia, and the limo company provided Mike and Becky a vintage Rolls-Royce limousine. Now here's where the multiple choice comes into play.
Okay.
The limousine came to pick the newlyweds up from their wedding, but the initial Rolls-Royce broke down. It broke down on them, so they had to send a second vehicle. Did Mike A thank them for bringing the second vehicle, even though they had to wait an hour, or did he B get a running start and do a Bo Duke slide across the hood of this vintage Rolls-Royce, thus scratching it?
Oh, fully B.
Mike?
You're correct. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
Digging into the crates, Dave.
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard. Man.
Dukes of Hazzard shit. Wow. That's true. That's true. And, I look back on that, and there was we did have to pay for the scratch after that, but
we did.
I'm very
That's how
happy.
we started
I
our
would have
marriage.
never changed the scenario there.
How much did the scratch?
It was a couple $100 to get a buff.
That's it?
No,
that was it.
That's great.
Yeah, it was like pinstripes.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Oh, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was super worth it.
Congratulations, caller.
Was everything in
All
slow
right, thank
motion
you.
when you slid across the
Everything
hood?
it was actually an outer body experience that I had. I thought I was the guy from Dukes of Hazzard.
That's great.
Go 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 go. No, what was the what? Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard.
Why did a turkey noise be doing?
I don't remember any of that.
That wasn't Dukes of Hazzard.
No.
There's
Go,
no
go,
more
go,
Dukes
get
of
that big
Hazzard.
boys.
We're not allowed to use the Confederate flag anymore, so
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
there is no more Dukes of Hazzard.
That shows in the credits. Caller, thanks. Stay on the line.
Unfortunately.
By the way, consolation prize for that one is a signed X-Mark cap. Really cool
All
hat.
right.
You'll like it. Stay on the line. Brian's going to get your information. Thanks, caller.
All right, thank you.
Man, take it into crates, Dave. Wow.
Yeah. You know what's cool about these callers? All the different accents. From all over the country, people are calling in. West Coast, Vermont,
Carolina.
I
like the North Carolina accents. They're pretty cool.
It is a cool accent.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah, Mike, your accent has remained pretty much intact. You've done a lot of travel, and you've still got. I'd say you're kind of still a Jersey accent, maybe a little faded out.
Actually, it's gotten worse since I've been back here.
Yeah, a few less marbles than the rest
As a matter
of
of fact, I go to Wawa every morning. Right?
Yeah.
And
do you go to Pete's favorite Wawa?
No, I go to different ones.
Okay.
Right. But one I go to, I frequent often. Every day I get a breakfast burrito, and the lady there, talks to me. I've written about it on Facebook, and I try to infuse, how you doing? Is it a good day? If I was in Virginia, I'd be like, are you having a good day? I'm up here a couple weeks, and I'm all about the, paying it forward. You could tell somebody, I used to be, I wanted to change the whole world by myself. Now I'm like, I'm going to tell you have a good day. Later on, if you tell him and you tell him and you do something good,
it spreads,
right? So I try to do that. So in the morning, I'm in line, and I turn around, this guy's looking at me, kind of like this attitude, the Jersey attitude. I'm like, how you doing? And he's like, I'm pretty good. How you doing? I'm like, I'm pretty good. The guy sees us, another guy behind him, and he's like, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing fucking good. How you doing, man? so I started this propagation of how the fuck you do. So my
it spreads.
Yeah, my accent has gotten worse. Like Wooder, well, I don't say Wooder, but it's getting there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes back too. Because we noticed that.
Yeah, what are you doing this Saturday?
Right? Yeah.
But we do notice that because Becky and I travel a lot, and when we're traveling, you kind of catch the southern accent when you travel down there.
Oh,
but then you come back,
absolutely,
and it comes back.
Oh, she comes back dropping y'alls on all of us.
Yeah, y'all. A lot of y'alls back.
Really
y'alls. Yeah, I still say y'all.
Yeah.
My girlfriend looked at me the other day. I got to go across the street. Across.
Like, yeah.
I just looked at him like, what the fuck are you talking
Across.
about? Across. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hold on. My son and my wife just had a funny South Jersey accent thing the other day. So we're on our way to the swim club, and she tells Dave, she tells my children to get their the towels. The way she says it, the towel. He's like, he's playing his game. Why do we need tails, Mom?
Tails, grab your tail, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Have your towels.
Towels.
Yeah.
Towels. All right, I'm going to throw in a quick trivia question for you guys here, and I want to say who's smarter than a fifth grader. A family of rhinoceros is called what? A, pod, B, herd, C, crash, or D, troop? Pete, you want to attempt that one?
Pod.
Okay, we got a pod. Dave?
Second. Pod.
Herd?
No, a pod. I'm
you say
seconding
pod?
him. Yeah, pod.
No, I'm going to go with the herd.
You're going herd. Rebecca?
I go with a crash.
Yeah.
What's a
A
crash?
crash.
I don't know.
Okay,
Seems so
Brian, what
weird.
is the correct answer?
Rebecca. Crash.
Crash! Wow.
Crash of rhinoceros.
Wow.
Wow, man.
Beck, you know what you win? You get to give me a oral sex tonight.
Jesus.
We lost every viewer with that scene.
Oh, man, yeah, they're just dropping off.
That was a joke. I mean, if you want to, you can, but that was a joke.
Dude, it's 11 o'clock.
It is 11 o'clock.
We didn't even get to talk about Mike.
I know. Well, let's do that. Let's switch, Brian. Let's switch gears here. We had some great stories.
Yeah, let's reset.
Yeah, let's take.
Oh, you want to take a break and we'll reset?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
You want to close out, stop the files,
Okay.
restart.
Let people know what we're going
stopping
to
the
talk about
file
with Mike.
about 5
Okay,
minutes back.
I will. Hey, let me tell you this. We're going to take a break. I want you to hang in there. Hang in there for about 5 minutes with us. We're going to take a break. We're going to pee. We're going to refill our beers. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mike Richardson, a.k.a. Nom, a.k.a. the Predator Hunter, and we're going to find out what Mike's been doing the last 20 years. We're going to have some good stories. I know we are. So hang in there with us. Stay tuned. More Ike Live coming up.
And if you're letting your kids watch, put them to bed now.
Yeah, if you're letting your kids watch, you might want to put them in bed. But thanks for watching so far. Hang in there with us. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Ike Live. Wow, how does this happen every show? Dude, it just...